Warning! The Stone Age Gamer podcast includes a lot of bad language. Cover your motherfucking ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer podcast. I'm Chris Randazzo and joining me tonight is Tower of Pizza, Dan Ryan.
Why do I get to be a Tower of Pizza?
You're a Tower of Pizza. I don't know what else to call you.
That's fair.
I look at that man and I say that is a pizza tower.
It's a pizza tower.
If I ever saw one. And the birthday boy himself, Dr. Dean DeFalco.
Call me Dino Kong.
I will. Nintendo.
I will not. I will not.
No.
What's the catchphrase? Banana Slamma? Oh boy, yeah, next week's going to be fun. No, we're not doing the Cartoon Express this week. We're doing the Cartoon Express next week because Nintendo graced us with not one, but two directs this week in the form of a double feature, no less. Does the combined strength of an indie and partner showcase live up to a proper direct? I hope you like classic game compilations because the Stone Age Gamer podcast starts now.
I do like classic game compilations, Chris.
I do too. Hi, everyone. This is episode 530. It's the week of September 6, 2024, and welcome. For anyone new here, this is the official podcast of StoneAgeGamer.com. Dan and I talk every week about what's happening in the world of video games from a retro gamer's perspective, as well as whatever the heck else is going on in our lives. And speaking of which, happy birthday, Dean.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I appreciate it.
It's a right turn.
It was the right turn.
It was. That's fair.
Well,
yeah, how's it?
Yeah.
So,
how's
like,
it going?
you're old now.
Yeah, how old are you?
I am a young 36.
Wow, 36.
Actually,
Yeah.
Almost 37.
Yeah. I had some weird stuff happen to me. Fun fact, kids. I thought I was going to be on today's episode until, about 6-7 hours ago. And Chris is like, hey, I'm letting you off the hook. We're going to do something else tonight. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. And I said, fuck you. I got things to talk about. I'm getting old. My body's doing weird shit. I'm coming on for at least a little bit, and I need to talk about these things. Yeah. I
Still coughing. Sorry.
It's okay. I had a The Fly like reaction to an Xbox Core Series controller, electric volt colored. All of a sudden, just little background. I've had the controller for a while. I haven't used it a lot because when I was in my apartment, I had a lot of controllers, and it's a disgusting color of yellow. It was on sale for like $30, and it's a legit Xbox controller. So, I figured, why not? It's a great backup. When I packed everything up, I stupidly packed every other controller except that one. So when I got here, I got SteamWorld Heist 2 on the Xbox, and I started using this controller a lot more because SteamWorld Heist 2 was getting me through the first week or two of being here. So I was playing it a lot. Fast forward a couple days in, I started getting these weird blisters on my hand, and my hand started burning just all of a sudden out of nowhere. And I'm like, boy, that is really fucking weird. I wonder what is being different. At first, I stopped masturbating, and it wasn't that. And then I, went on, and I stopped using the controller, and just a day, and my hand stopped burning. And when I looked at the controller and started matching up where the rash was on my hand, it was actually only happening on where I was gripping the yellow part of the controller. So on that specific Xbox controller, it's a duotone. It's white on the back, yellow on the front. I didn't have any rash or anything on my hand where it was touching the white part, only on my thumb, right below it on the palm, and a couple of my fingers where I was hitting the triggers and stuff. So super bizarre, left hand only, not the right. I call up Xbox and I'm like, hey, my hand's falling off. What do I do? And they're like,
so we're not a doctor?
Yeah.
Call a doctor? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, they're like,
why are you calling us?
You realize this is Xbox, right?
Sir, this is a Denny's. So I basically called them and I was like, have you ever heard about like anyone getting a skin reaction to like a specific dye or something in the controller? Because I did read of people getting skin reactions from controllers, and it definitely happening with core controllers, but nothing specifically like color-wise, just it happening. So this lady was reading off a script, and she was very nice, but she said, I'm sorry, no, and kept saying the same thing over and over again. So I said, okay, great, this isn't going anywhere. I was kind of just hoping they might give me some money for like a new controller or something, but they didn't, so it's whatever. Long story short, I swapped out the shell for like a translucent purple now, and it's super sexy look, and it looks like it just came out of the 2000s, like a Apple iMac gave birth to it. I love it. I want to cradle it all the time. One funny thing though is I got this entire set, like the whole controller. So I got the outer shell, the back cover, battery cover, all the buttons, new thumbsticks and everything for $20. The one thing that it didn't come with was a new guide button. So I had to leave in the yellow guide button from the original Xbox setup, which actually kind of goes together really well with purple, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, yellow and purple's the thing.
Right, yeah, so that was pretty cool. The next day, because I just put that together like a day or two ago, today being my birthday, there's a nice box on the table with a camouflage blue controller from my parents, and they're like, so your hand doesn't fall off. So now I have two perfectly good working controllers now. And I do like very like cool colored ones, because they have so many interesting colors from Xbox that if I buy like a standard one, I do not want white or black. Honest to God, get me a pink one before getting me a white or black one. I've had white or black controllers my whole life. I want different colors now. So, yeah, I was super happy to see that. Except when I opened the box, I noticed that the tape on it was a little funky. And my dad got it from the Walmart up the highway. Like, I was like, that's not standard tape. That's like packing tape. And my mom's like, is that weird? I'm like, that's super fucking weird. And I pick up the controller, and I was like, the batteries are already in this. And she's like, how do you know? And I stare at her. I was like, Mom, I've been playing games for 30 fucking years. The batteries are in this. And I shoved the battery compartment open with my one thumb. The battery cover falls onto the table. It was very, very movie-like. And sure enough, the batteries are in there. And she's like, you gonna return it? And I said, no, because I looked at my dad and I was like, they only had white or black otherwise, right? And he said, yeah, and that was the only blue one. And I said, nope, I'm going to make sure it works, and I'm going to keep it. So, yeah, I tested it. Looks like everything's good. Honestly, it's not like... I can't imagine a lot of people want camouflage anymore. I mean, I do live in a very camouflage-heavy area.
Well, I mean, like, how can you find it? You put the controller down and it just blends in with its surroundings.
Exactly. You know, especially the blue one that I got. If, you know, you're near the water or whatever, you're never going to see it again. So.
If you're in a blue forest somewhere, I mean...
Yeah, man, you'd be done for.
That's the worst.
You'd be really done for. So, yeah, it was really fucking weird having this, like... incredibly uncomfortable, like, dermatitis on my hand for, I want to say, the better part of a week. And it's pretty much resolved now. It's gotten a lot better, but it was, honest to God, like, pretty painful for a hot minute, because it just got itchy and then everything started burning. And I was like, this can't be good. And I started feeling my hand. I got bumps all over it. Like, they look like hives, but it completely covered my hand. It was a little weird. So I'm happy that went away. That was the weirdest thing that happened with getting old. Besides that, I've just been playing video games. I don't know if we're at that point yet, but I figured, you know, the whole Scarlet rot was important to mention.
I mean, you know... So I have eczema.
Similar to that. Yes.
I had eczema, and then I started getting chemo, and I don't have eczema anymore. So I don't know that chemo is worth going through for eczema treatment. But my eczema is fucking cleared up.
Dan, I will take that into account. That is, I'm going to ask the doctor about it and just be like, my friend's getting chemo treatments and he doesn't have any skin problems anymore. Should I look into that, Doc? Is that a good idea?
I have eczema. Do you have any treatments? Well, have you tried cancer?
It's like, well, I've had these like, it's fucking wild. I've had these like weird bumps on my forehead for like 2 years, right? And they're not like super noticeable, but like I notice them, and they look, I haven't like done anything about them because it's like, whatever, I don't fucking care all that much. But they're gone now too. So like, I don't know what the chemo or the steroids or the whatever is doing, but it seems to be clearing up any of my skin conditions. So there's that.
It's going to be really crazy when you turn into Ashley from The Boys.
Well, that has started.
Okay.
And yeah, like clockwork, they said about 2 weeks after the first treatment, you might start to know, like, that's when the first signs of, like, hair loss happens. And my first treatment... I didn't
mean that. I meant the Megamind brain. Is that happening?
Oh, that part. No, I don't know. I thought you were just talking about, like, all the hair loss and shit.
That's the boring part. Through. Like, I want to know the Megamind part.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's what chemo does. I don't think it gives you brain cancer. I fucking hope.
Dude, you don't know
that's
what that
not what
is.
they're doing.
She could be getting really smart. We don't know what's happening.
Yeah, let's go with that. I'm sure it's The Boys. I'm sure somebody's going to get a happy ending.
It's super PG.
But no, like they were like, yeah, like you might start to see some hair loss. Could start as early as 2 weeks. Sometimes it's like 3-4 weeks, but usually around 2 weeks. And son of a bitch, on Thursday, the day after my 2-week appointment, I was like, oh, that's just coming out if I touch it. Cool. So
but only out of your balls.
Yeah, no, oh God, I wish it was.
Do the carpets match the drapes?
No, I dye both different colors to throw you off. That way you don't know what you're getting
one's
into.
teal and one's cotton candy pink.
That's
he
right.
alternates week by week too. Keep them on their toes.
I mean, yeah, it's just. I think I don't know how long I have with eyebrows anymore. Fucking real worried about it. I'm gonna have to draw them on. I'm gonna draw one up like The Rock.
Oh yes,
surprised.
Yes, yeah. You should definitely do that. You can have basically permanent filters on your face at all times, so you can look like a Snapchat filter all the time.
It would be awesome.
Yeah.
Start getting some wigs.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just alternate. Maybe, like,
great,
I'll go with, like, a Joe Dirte wig one
mullet?
week, a nice mullet.
Perfect. Yeah.
And then switch it out for a summer balayage from the French. Nobody knows.
Now, I don't know if anyone remembers, Joe Dirt had David Spade had a very weird wig in that movie, but Christopher Walken also had some pretty crazy fucking hair in that movie.
Christopher Walken has pretty crazy everything. Always.
I mean,
remember his hair in Batman Returns? The hell was going on there?
So it was the same sort of hair. And how did he do that? Is it just hairspray?
I think he just looked at himself in the mirror and got scared.
Funny enough, he was also in Hairspray.
He was.
Wasn't he married? Wasn't he married to Fat John Travolta?
He might have been.
I think he was married to Fat John Travolta.
I think I've seen Hairspray once. It's not my favorite of the Broadway shows.
Well, that's
I don't dislike it.
Like there's old Hairspray.
I don't like
too.
old Hairspray either.
Oh,
yeah, Aquanet, not for it.
I mean, I'm not just a fan of Hairspray. It's bad for the environment and shit. Makes you cough a whole bunch.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no. Aquanet,
how are you doing, Chris?
Nuts. Oh,
I'm doing okay.
How was John's birthday party?
It was pretty good. He had a really good time. It was we pulled off the Minecraft stuff that we were trying to do with the whole, like, the upstairs is the end. And, I mean, some of it kind of fell apart because it's kids running around the house. But there was, dark guns everywhere, and they were shooting those little Nerf darts everywhere, and everybody had a really good time. And it was extremely stressful because that fucking in-law dog, Ozzy, was here, just being a giant, hair-shedding, obnoxious piece of shit dog. But we lived through the weekend. It was very stressful, but we made it happen. John, I'll talk a little bit more about the exact present that John got, because it's actually related to the Nintendo Direct. But he got himself some store credit for the eShop, and then the stars aligned, and all of a sudden he's been a very happy guy for a couple of days.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good time. It has been an interesting week over here in the Randazzo household. I have a couple of games to talk about, and I have a couple of things to talk about. So, I mean, I don't know. You want me to go now, or do you want to go?
Yeah, talk about them. Do it. Put it in me. Lay it on me.
Dip
Sorry,
in just the tip.
Whoa.
Just the tip. Did you put on lube?
Never.
That's the wrong hole. Be careful.
Never. All right, well, let's see. Earlier on in the week, I got the review code for Yars Rising.
Oh, damn it.
Good.
I was going to talk about the demo. I thought it was going to be cool.
It's interesting, because it's about 2 weeks before the game comes out. I didn't play a ton of it yet because they kind of asked me to stop. Apparently, the version that went out is a pretty early version.
It's cursed.
And Because all right, so I started playing it, and I was like, well, this is exactly as technically messy as it looked like in the trailers. So, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't fun. I was definitely having a good time with it. It's very the overall vibe that I get from it is, hello, fellow children, like. That is the all the dialogue is that. The dialogue is extremely, for lack of a better word, cringy.
Does she have the Bubsy level of chattiness?
No, I don't think she's talking a lot during the gameplay. There's some chattiness going on during gameplay, but it's also just kind of a lot of cutscenes with her fellow hackers, which are also all just...
Yeah, no, they're all cringy.
Yeah, there's just no better word for it. It's embarrassing. Like, I'm listening to it, I'm like, this is difficult to get through. I hate this. But, so you're running around. There isn't much combat in the beginning. It's more of a stealthy kind of thing. And you're sneaking around Quotech or whatever. And your hacker name is Yar for some reason. And where Yar's Revenge actually comes in is that's what you do every time you want to hack into something. You have to play Yar's Revenge, like the 2600 game. Like, okay, that's kind of cool. That's a neat little trick, the way to fit Yar's Revenge into this thing. But it's so weird because I don't understand. I don't know who this game is for. Like, it seems like it wants to be written for like teenagers and preteens with the way the characters talk and act and look. But it's also filled with all this like really weird, pointless Atari history stuff. Like the save points are Space War cabinets.
What the?
It's like, what the hell? It's just really
weird.
strange. I don't even know,
guys.
I don't even know what else to say about it. It's just so strange the way.
I'm still recording. Okay.
I think it's neat. Okay. Like the little Easter eggs, I think are neat. But I can't imagine anyone under 40 understanding any of these references. Or,
I'm okay.
But the gameplay itself so far appears to be stealth Metroidvania.
I'm okay.
Which is kind of interesting. Okay. And it feels good to play, even with all the technical issues. It does still feel good to play. But the note I got from Way Forward and Atari said that the code provided was for an outdated and incorrect build for the Switch. Yars Rising will receive a significantly updated build next week. So hopefully sometime in the next couple of days I'll get that, which will be nice.
This game didn't need Atari on it, though. Like, Atari properties. It should have just been its own thing.
Yeah, it's weird that it's tied into the Yars... It's not even tied into the Yars mythology, right? It's like a totally
it's just
different...
properties.
Yeah, because, like, Yars' Revenge is all about, like, bugs and stuff. I mean, who knows? Who knows where this story is going to actually go in the end?
Right. But, so, and, like, if the game... It's what it seems like is... The game is some sort of software in that universe, right? That's what it kind of seems like, or something
right, Yars,
like that.
Yeah, that's her hacker... Yeah. That's her way of hacking into things. Is
now,
like,
and they make a couple of not snide remarks, but like cutesy remarks, like, "Oh, you should get into video game programming." Like, all right, yeah, that's cool. We get it because the Yars is a video game. Great, but like, I think that's also hurting the personality of the game because they are trying really hard for that like cyberpunky aesthetic to mix with this retro style, and it's fine, but like I don't think it's going to be any better than just good. It's definitely not a great game. It's going to be good.
It's really difficult for me to tell based on the little amount that I've played so far, right?
Yeah, because the demo's only 40 minutes too.
Oh, okay. How far do you get the attack in the demo? Like, do you get to shoot things?
Yeah. So, okay. You get basically a full smattering of what the actual game is, but they do tell you that the demo is set up differently than the actual game. So you're only being shown this stuff in this way to, show what the game has. So you essentially get a bunch of stuff. You get the shooting thing, the absorption.
Okay, I don't have that yet. All I have is the only thing I have is the shot. The whole start of the game is just you've got nothing but hiding. That's all you can do is just sneak around and hide.
So yeah, you do a little bit of that, and then you fight a boss who's called Burning Sentinel. He's not super hard or anything. I'm not even sure if he's in the finished product of the game because they didn't particularly say. But it was all okay. Like I didn't hate it. Like it kind of felt like just a less populated Metroidvania game from what I played so far, because like you don't feel like you're going to get into a lot of action, or there's like some guys you're not supposed to fight where other ones you are. So I would like to see more, and I'm not opposed. I don't think this game is going to be bad by any way, shape, or form, but I would be surprised if it's like an exceptional game.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about Way Forward here, who used to have a spotless reputation, but in recent years I've definitely played some Way Forward games that I haven't been super fond of, regardless of how much I like things about them. Like Spider Swords comes to mind. I wanted to like Spider Swords a whole lot, but I just didn't think it was very fun to play. So far, I like this game as far as actually playing it more than Spider Swords, but at the same time, I think it's just the fact that it is what it is, and it's also tied to the Yars license is just super weird to me.
Yeah, especially because we already had like great, imaginings of these properties already with the Recharge series. I don't think we really needed anything with Rising. Atari can totally make an original IP that had nothing to do with this. That I think would have been the smarter move, but hey,
okay, but they already did, and that's what I think is really freaking weird about this. Because this is already sort of reminding me of, now it's a VR game, so I've never actually played it, but that Pixel Ripped 1978?
I don't know what that is, but that sounds interesting.
It is. It's an original IP. It's like it's filled with all sorts of Atari stuff, and it's for MetaQuest, and it's, let's see. Pixel Ripped, an Atari adventure, is a love letter to everything Atari. In this totally interactable environment in VR, players are caught in the eye of the hurricane in a wacky time-traveling adventure where they are one of the main programmers at Atari and have to get inside the gaming world to prevent history from being rewritten by a pesky supervillain.
Oh, that does sound pretty cool.
Take that premise and make this game with it. Like, for this VR thing, cool. Yeah. Neat. But, like, just
do more.
take that exact premise and this game's like art style and whatnot, because it's pretty nice looking.
It is. I was a little surprised about. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but it looked nicer than what I thought it was going to look like.
I'm talking about pixel ripped. I mean, this, Yars Rising, okay. I have some issues with the art direction that I've seen in it so far. I was actually playing it in the living room the other night, and when I first met the president of Kotek or whatever, I can't remember her name. The lady.
Yeah. Okay.
Karen's just like, what is going on with her boobs? Because she's standing there, and they're moving independently of one another, just kind of like shifting about. And I'm like, I didn't notice it until you said something, but yeah, what is going on? That is really weird.
I did not take the jiggle physics into account. I'm going to have to go back and look at the demo's jiggle physics.
I don't even know that you'd call it jiggle. They're just kind of
moving. They're just moving. Yeah,
they're just kind of shifting around independently.
The game kind of almost looks like SteamWorld a little bit when things aren't like actually happening. They have like these animations where they're moving around, but they're not doing anything. They just have like weird fighting idle animations going on.
Yeah, it's definitely it's an odd experience, but we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
I also spent a little time with the first Capcom Fighting Collection. It went on sale for like $14, and I hadn't bought it before, so I picked that up, and I've been reacquainting myself with the joys of Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Played that game at my friend Mike's house on Saturn relentlessly. And then when I got my own Saturn, that was one of the first games that I got, and I played just the hell out of that game. And it's been super fun getting back into it. I really love Puzzle Fighter. I'm not amazing at it. I'm pretty solid, but I still can't. I still can't beat the computer with anyone other than Ken, because Ken has just the best fall pattern. Unless you're talking about like Akuma or Dan, but right. From the base roster, just Ken has the best fall pattern that I can use. Like I'm Donovan's okay. I can do pretty decent with Donovan, but yeah, Ken's my main, no question. And I love Puzzle Fighter. It's so much fun.
It's such a great game. Like, it's just shut the fuck up, Chris.
You shut the fuck up. How dare you?
I'll shut the fuck up.
Do it.
It's such a great game that, like, it's so odd that there's never been any more of it. It's so great. It's so beloved.
Was that just a Capcom joint, or
and
did
then that was just it?
No, just Capcom. Pure Capcom. Top to bottom. I mean, like, other things have ripped it off. That Mortal Kombat one? There was a Castlevania one.
But none of them are as good.
I mean, isn't the Castlevania one the same exact game? Like,
more or less, yeah.
I remember looking at it being like, Castlevania.
I don't remember.
Puzzle. It's Encore. Castlevania Puzzle Encore of the Night. It appears to
something
be
like that.
The exact same goddamn game.
All right.
Which is it's hilarious to me.
Yeah. It's just very strange to me that there has never been another Super Puzzle Fighter.
Yeah, I mean, this is
that
Capcom
seems very, very
about.
odd.
Well,
they sequelize
they milk
everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Well, I think No, they don't, because look what happened to Mega Man. Our boy's gotten done dirty.
Yeah, after he had like 850 entries, like they burned out. Just look at Beautiful Joe. Like, Beautiful Joe's a hit. Cool. Here's 2. Here's Red Hot Rumble. Here's DS game. Here's an anime series. We overdid it. All right. Well, we'll never do Beautiful Joe again. But
because it's puzzle games, bro. Like it's different. Like I don't think Capcom had that much faith in it. It was just something they did, and it's a great game. You're right. They should have done way more with it. We should get a new one now. Could you imagine one with like maybe Marvel vs. Capcom 3 sort of graphics going on in the background? I think that'd be pretty cool.
I'd be into it.
Yeah.
Just into it? You wouldn't marry it? You wouldn't take it out to dinner or anything?
Well, I mean, into it implies dinner, maybe a movie.
All right.
We'll see where things go.
All right, man. Like, I hope a nightcap, maybe. This is a very enticing deal.
I am not that easy, sir.
All right. Okay. You say
so. You are. Let's stop. Don't fucking lie to the people, Chris. You're a cheap date.
No, that was just you, sir, and that was just your unrelenting charisma. I'm usually way harder to get into.
Usually way harder.
Me and my Riz. I'll tell you.
Nothing but Riz.
Oh, the Rizzler.
Nothing but Riz over here.
The Rizzler.
That's me.
So, speaking of Capcom, sticking with the Capcom vibes, I also played just tonight, actually, while I was waiting for Ellie to get ready to bed, not rid of bed. I
Get rid of that fucking bed.
She was just taking the bed apart. We're like, all right, fine, just fucking finish.
I picked up my 3DS, and it struck me. I'm going to try Mega Man Extreme because I've never really played Mega Man Extreme. It's the Game Boy Color Mega Man X/X2 cross thing. It's pretty good. It's very much Mega Man X downsized, right? It's 8-bit Mega Man X, which kind of works.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because you don't have a dedicated button for dashing. It's all double tapping, which kind of changes the way I play Mega Man X. I've gone through 2 Robot Masters so far. It's split into 2 groups of 4. So the first 4 are Chill Penguin, Spark Mandrill, Storm Eagle, and whatever the fire reindeer dog looking thing from X2 is. I don't like X2, so I don't remember any of their names. But those are the first 4. So I took down the intro.
I think there you go. His name.
I took down the first 2 Robot Masters, and the music's neat. Hearing these like 8-bit versions of Mega Man X music, it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. That's about it for video games. Other stuff that's been going on. Boy, what a week. So John, for his birthday from my sister-in-law, she wanted to give him a one of those arcade basketball hoop things.
Oh, okay. Is that a thing he wanted?
She saw him using one once and just absolutely loved it. And, he's...
Okay.
He didn't not want it. It's just... When she offered it to us, she said that it was something that she had from because she works on what's the word? Like setting up houses in the Poconos and stuff. So she gets all these arcade 1-up cabinets and things like that to go into houses. And
staging.
Staging, that's the word. She had an extra one of these basketball hoops. We're like, well, I guess if you have an extra one, sure, but don't go out of your way to buy one. But then it turned out she didn't actually have an extra one, so she bought one. She ran it past me, saying, all right...
What did I just say?
There's 2 sizes here. There's the big one, which I think is super cool, and then there's a smaller one, which is less cool. I want to get her in the bigger one. And I was like, all right, let me measure. So I look at the measurements. I go down to the basement, and I measure, and it's off by a ½ inch. And I'm like, well, it's metal piping. I feel like there's going to be some wiggle room in there. Let's go for it with the big one.
Sure.
I was not prepared for exactly how big this thing was.
We're talking full fucking Chuck E. Cheese.
It's 400 pounds
size.
Yeah, this was the full size one. Now what was cool about it is it folds up.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's not always taking up 8 feet of floor space. You can fold it up. The problem was I actually made it fit in the corner where my arcade cabinet used to be. The problem was that I didn't think about was that the air conditioning ducts in my ceiling, it kind of blocked the hoop.
Nice.
So
that's not what you want.
Now I made this stupid thing fit, but now I can't play it because it's just
you can just look at it.
Just barely. So I moved it to the other side of the basement for the day. And just put it in the middle of the floor, move the couch and everything. It was like, all right, kids, have fun. And they had a blast with it, especially Ellie. She loves this stupid thing. Had an absolute blast with it. But it took 3 hours to build. It was such a pain in the ass to build. And then I had to take it all apart and put it back in the box. Because we couldn't keep it. But she did do the exchange, so she is going to... She's sending us the smaller version, which really... It doesn't look that much different. It's just as wide. I think it's going to be just fine. Because, honestly, John's biggest gripe with it is that the hoops were so far away he couldn't make any shots. I'm like, all right. Easy mode. Here you go. So
try to get better, John.
So that was a thing.
That attitude.
the damn basketball hoop. Earlier today, I was working on, because we had somebody in the Discord asking about the videos you were talking about last week, and you had mentioned the Mario videos and the
Burst
Zelda videos that
and,
I was working on.
I finished, yeah.
So I was actually, the next Mario video is supposed to come up in a couple of weeks, so I'm trying to get a jump start on the script as far as I can. And I spent a little time working on it today, and I'm working on... It's Super Mario 64 is going to be the focal point of this episode, but there's a couple of other things to get to first. But I also have to kind of set the stage for Mario 64 because, the talking about the N64 and Mario 64 and Project Reality goes all the way back to 1993. And, so I have to cover kind of setting the groundwork for this is why Mario 64 was such a big deal and kind of roughly touch on the history of 3D gaming. And I got to a part where I wanted to talk about the actual announcement of Project Reality. And, naturally I went straight to the Nintendo Power. And it's like, okay, well, when did they start to talk about a Nintendo Power? It was in November of 93, but they actually announced it in August of 93. But not to video game magazines in particular. This was an official announcement from Nintendo and Silicon Graphics. So there was kind of a thing that showed up in newspapers. So I was trying to find, okay, where is an actual press release or some sort of newspaper report on the announcement? And I found was a Chicago Tribune article, but it was just a transcription of it on a website. And now if I want to put the visual, right, because you've seen my videos, when I do these visuals, I like to put an actual picture of, the magazine article or something. So I went trying to find an actual scans of old newspapers from August when they actually made this announcement, and I came
going
to this
down
site
to the local library, going through the microfiche.
Well, I would if that was something that would have given me good pictures, but I found this site called newspapers.com, which is actually tied to ancestry.com, and it is a fascinating site. You have to pay for it. A lot. It's $75 every 6 months, which seems like
Jesus.
a lot.
No, I mean, when you work it out, that's not terrible, I guess.
Yeah, it's not terrible. And if I was going to use it more often,
for fucking old newspapers.
Well, it depends. If you were a fucking archivist or looking for something important, yeah, that's a great way to access things.
It is actually a really great way to access things because you can search them. They're all scans of newspapers, but I typed in August 1993 and Nintendo, and it showed me scans of every newspaper that came out around that time that mentioned the word Nintendo and where the word Nintendo was.
That's
so
fucking
it's searchable
impressive.
Text on images of newspaper scans. It's fucking fascinating. So I signed up for the free trial and took all the screenshots I needed and then canceled because I can't afford $75 to start a newspapers.com subscription just for this, but it was actually really cool. I got 3 different scans because it just makes for a much better visual to go with whatever words I'm saying, right? I'll be talking about this, this is when they made the announcement that they were working with Silicon Graphics and calling it Project Reality, et cetera, and when I say that, I'm going to do Ken Burns effect, here's the picture of the newspaper article scanning. So I got 3 different scans to choose from. I just thought it was a really fascinating tech, right? Because we heard recently about the Video Game History Foundation's doing basically this with video game magazines, which is fucking fascinating. I cannot wait for that to exist. But the getting to play with this in the newspaper front, it made my life so easy trying to figure out I just need to find newspaper articles that tell this story, and I could just search them like that. I thought that was really, really cool. And so the script's coming along nicely. I gotta, make the shift from talking about the history of 3D games to talking about the friggin' Virtual Boy, because was it Mario Clash? I gotta cover that and Yoshi's Island before I even get to Mario 64. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's going well. I'm excited.
That's
about
awesome.
It's fun. I like writing these things. And trying to get as much of a jump start on it so it doesn't become this big stressful mountain of, oh God, I'm not going to finish this in time kind of thing, is nice to have enough breathing room to get there, as it were.
I am definitely looking forward to it.
Well, you can't look back at it because it hasn't happened yet.
Oh, that's fair.
So, I can't remember if I mentioned that I ordered this stuff last week when I talked. Did I talk about the guy who came to install the gas meter?
Yes? Or did we talk? I don't remember if we talked about it on the show or off.
So we got a new gas meter from our gas company, and the guy had to come down to the basement to see the heating system and everything, and he started talking to me about video games, and because he saw my basement, was like, this is super cool, and we talked for a while. But while he was going through my house, he was giving me all these like good tips for home ownership and maintaining things like dryers and stuff that I don't know because I'd never been a homeowner before I bought this house, and we didn't do much in terms of dryer repair in my old house. So he told me about a couple of like super cheap products that you can get on Amazon to help clean out the dryer. Like, he turned on the dryer for a second just to see it run, just to make sure that the gas was working the way it was supposed to. And he was like, all right, so you hear that thumping noise? That's a belt. That's intimidating, but it's super easy to actually fix. You don't need to fix it. It's just making this obnoxious noise. Eventually you're going to want to, but you don't need to do that immediately. But the fact that it's not drying anything is because you've got a blockage in there somewhere. I was like, yeah, it said that, and I tried to clean out, the hose that goes to the outside, and I was able to see light, right? I could see light through my dryer to the outdoors, so I know I got that at least clear enough to do that, and it was still, like, it still just dries for shit. And he was like, well, the problem actually is the stuff that's stuck underneath your lint trap. So my lint trap was broken. It's been broken since we moved into the house. And he's like, well, that's causing other stuff to get stuck in there. So what you do is you get this thing that attaches to your vacuum cleaner, and you shove it all the way down in there, and it comes with this cool brush thing, and you just kind of loosen up everything and see how much you can get out of there. So that stuff showed up in the mail yesterday, and I went straight to business working on my dryer. Right, I got the one that cleans out the hose too, just to do that more thoroughly. And oh my god, I got 2 solid vacuum, like, filled my vacuum twice.
Canisters full?
2 solid canisters full of lint out of the dryer.
You gave your dryer the best colonoscopy it's ever gotten.
Oh my god, it was so refreshing. So now we haven't actually started doing laundry proper this week yet, but I did a test run. There was a handful of towels from when the in-laws were staying, and everyone showered because we went to the beach, and so I had a bunch of towels. Yeah, and I didn't stay up to test everything out thoroughly. I did the laundry at night, but I set the dryer before I went to bed to just normal dry, and when I woke up in the morning, the towels were dry on a single run. So we're going to test it proper. The best. We're going to test it proper this weekend, but I tell you, we usually have to run the dryer like 2 to 3 full cycles before it actually fully dries everything. So, oh boy. The other one, the thing that goes onto it goes through the hose, was more fun, because the vacuum one was tough because, so I always thought that when we first moved in, I ordered a new, a new lint filter. And it wouldn't plug all the way in. So I thought I'd somehow gotten the wrong size. Like, well, this is the one that matches the model for the dryer. Maybe that's why they have this stupid broken one in here, is because they couldn't figure out how to get one that fits in there either. So I bought this other one again, and I stuck it in there. I was like, yeah, this still doesn't fit. I don't know. I must need some different model of it. I'll have to look into it. So I go in there with the brush. I'm cleaning. I get a ton out of that. And then after it's fully clean, the filter fit. There was so much lint at the bottom that the filter the lint trap would not actually fit into the fucking dryer anymore. That's how much, like, I had to get in there with, like, even the brush wasn't enough. I kept, like, shining a light down there. I had to get in there with a freaking stick and like scrape the shit out the bottom of there because it was rock fucking solid. It was insane. Of course it was. The stuff that was in there. Oh, it felt so good to get that cleaned out. Well, because you're pulling that like wet hair and lint and stuff off, and then fucking superheating it to the inside of the metal, congealing and turning into a over. Rock. Yeah. So the other one that goes into the that goes through the hose is it attaches to your drill. So it's like all these like plastic sticks that are super bendy, and then you put them in your drill, and it just like flops around and spins this super spinny cleany brush thing in, which is just fucking marvelous. I love it.
That's awesome. I think I have to put a belt on my washing machine this weekend because I went to put laundry in for Tiff like 2 hours ago, and it made some clicking noises like it wanted to start spinning and just wouldn't. And I was like, well, fuck. This isn't good. However, I don't know that I'm going to be able to do it this weekend because you just had a treatment, right? Yeah, I had my treatment yesterday. So today I feel fine, just like I did the last time, because I'm all still jacked full of steroids and shit. But this Lunestra thing that I have on my arm, that's the thing that really set off like my bone pain and shit last time. So that has gone off as of an hour ago. It finished injecting me. So by tomorrow, I should probably start feeling pretty shitty. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to it. So I'm just going to buy new clothes. I think that's the fucking route we're going to go down.
All right.
Got to send your kids to the laundromat. There's a life lesson for you.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
No. They wouldn't. What? I got to do quarters? I don't have quarters. Does it take a card? I mean, it probably takes a card. But still, they don't fucking.
Got to learn how to use a laundromat.
Ugh. Got to learn them. I mean, we did when we lived in Texas. The apartment complex we lived in Texas, like, had a laundromat. Like, there were no in-unit machines. So, but they were fucking 4. They don't remember.
Oh, yeah. Shit. I don't think I ever told this story. It's real quick. When I was living in Lodi in New Jersey, I lived in, like, an okay apartment, but we had every building had a downstairs laundry room. And it wasn't very well kept, but I was just happy to have, like, a laundry machine and dryer that was near until, like, I started to get to, like, know the people that also used them and the shit that would happen if I went upstairs for more than 10 minutes to leave my stuff, like, alone just drying. So the icing on the cake when I was like, nope, fuck this, I'm taking it to, like, a laundromat, was when I was going to go down the stairs and just out of the window, I see this torrential downpour of water, like, from a burst pipe. And I just turned around and I said, not my fucking problem. I walked right the fuck back inside. And, like, I debated for a second. I was like, I don't even want to call the super. This because I was kind of done with this place. Like, I had a bunch of issues with them, but, like, I didn't end up calling the super. And he's like, "Did you turn it off?" And I was like, "Bro, you don't understand. I'm not going in there. That's like a water ride right now." And he's like, "So I have to come?" And I said, "Yeah, that's what I pay you for." No,
that's your job.
And he's like,
"Job, sir."
And he's like, "Okay, I'll be right there." And I like. Let's be fucking honest. He's going to stare at it. He's going to call a goddamn plumber. The plumber's going to turn it off. Like, he's not going to fucking do anything. Oh, God.
I mean, it's not super hard to turn off the water.
No, it's not. But he was a very, very lazy man. And, like, yeah, after that point, I always went to, like, an actual laundromat, which is it's a fairly pleasant experience if you go to an okay laundromat. Like, I've never had a bad time in any of the laundromats I've went to.
Yeah, I remember when I lived in Clifton, I used to work at the Union City Game Crazy, and, like, the laundromat was in the same shopping center as where my store was. So, like, I just remember a lot of good times listening to music, folding laundry, and kind of getting my laundry done while I was at work and stuff. It was a good time doing laundry on the clock.
I like it. That's a good way to be.
All right, so I have one more story because it has indeed been an interesting week. So last week when we were doing the show, Dan, you were talking about your chemo treatments, and you mentioned that you really wanted a Steam Deck for your chemo treatments. And so as soon as you said that, the first thing that jumped into my head was like, we got this guy a PS4. We could probably figure out how to get him a Steam Deck, right? So I immediately didn't do anything and just kind of let it go because life took over and just forgot about everything because that's me and my brain. But yesterday, on the old Discord, Chronodin contacted me on Discord, and he said that he thought that we should try to get you a Steam Deck, right? We got you a PS5. And then, since he brought it up, I immediately sprung into action. I put together this GoFundMe, and we put together. I recorded a commercial that was going to air in front of this episode to say, like, look, I was going to do it all in secret. We're trying to get Dan a Steam Deck in secret, and I launched the GoFundMe, and I told Chronodin about it, and I told the people on the Patreon about it, and I told Tiff about it. And unfortunately, I'm not going to get to air the commercial at all because we completely obliterated the goal within a couple of hours. I had set enough money to get the Steam Deck and have cover taxes and fees, and then have like maybe a little left over. We absolutely obliterated that within hours. Whoa. So I mean, this didn't even go out to many people yet. It was just like, Dan, help, done immediately, if not sooner. So
fuck, you're gonna make me tear up on the radio, man.
Oh, that's the plan.
On the podcast, it's not the radio. Is it the radio? I don't know.
Well, don't I took the Steam Deck.
I have a hard time accepting love, Chris.
Well, look, Buster, you're fucking loved, all right? Because this got funded fast. So soon, sometime within the next week, whenever I can get the money out of GoFundMe transferred, you're going to get the top of the line OLED 1 terabyte Steam Deck sent to your house. You're going to get a dock and 8-bit do ultimate wireless controller to connect it to your television.
Holy
if you so
shit!
Choose. You're also going to get an SD card that we're going to help you set up all the shmemulation stuff. There's a 1
I love shmemulation.
And then you're going to get enough Steam credit where you're not going to need to worry about paying for video games for a very long time. Because we raised a lot of money right quick. And I cannot stress this enough. Man. I organized this. This is all listeners, okay? This is all listener. You know how much I love you. This is all This is all people. I don't deserve the credit for this. All I did was organize. This was just immediate, absolutely no questions asked. Here's money. Get this man a Steam Deck to make his life better. It was astoundingly quick, and it's proof positive that, sir, you are very, very loved and appreciated. Tiff was extremely moved by it, and I'm glad that she didn't wind up spoiling it in any way, shape, or form.
No, not at all.
I couldn't believe how fast this happened. So I'll get you all the more information about like everybody involved and whatnot. And how we're going to settle this stuff up. I just got an email from GoFundMe about some of the funds being available, and now I want to know why it's only like it's like a third of what we raised. So I'm not really sure what's going on there, but I'll get that figured out. But you should have this way before your next treatment, so you're going to have plenty of time to actually set it up and be ready, so that by the next time you have to sit through chemotherapy, you will be well entertained, my good sir.
That's fucking amazing, man. Like,
Evan, edit my coughs out. That's all touching shit.
I genuinely have a really, really hard time with accepting, like, accepting love. That's not the right way to put it. But I have always because Tiff tells me all the time. She's like, you do this, and these people care about you, and because you do X, Y, Z, and whatever. And to me, like, because I'm me, I don't think I do anything different or special, or I'm just a guy. You know what I mean? Like I'm just, and it never, it just, I don't think that I do anything different or whatever than anybody else does. Apparently I do. It's like what I'm learning as I get older, but
you're
to me that
person. You're kind, you're helpful, you're funny. You've provided people with free entertainment for a fucking decade, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, that's fair.
You're part of their lives every week.
You called me out of the blue to ask me if I wanted to go to WrestleMania, and like you thought about me.
Of course I did.
But that's the kind of person you are. People appreciate you.
Well, and I appreciate you guys too. I really do. That's really fucking awesome. Thank you. Genuinely,
you are very welcome.
Truly, thank you.
On behalf of everyone who actually did this. I just organized. I'm not trying to take credit for this. I just organized. This is all other people who love you. And I know there's going to be a lot more people that want to do something too, right? Because this didn't reach like a fraction of the people who listen to the podcast. This is most people are hearing about this for the first time because like we were going to announce it on the show today, but then we smashed the fucking fundraiser goal and it was like, well, all right. So I will say to everybody who's listening who wants to be helpful, Dan's going to have a Steam Deck real soon. So he's going to need recommendations for games, bundles,
for sure.
Things like that. Like any tips and tricks you have for Steam or Steam Deck or anything related to it, that's what you can do helping Mr. Dan stay entertained.
That's fucking awesome. I'm going to have to get some good 2-player games to play with Tiff because she was fucking kicking my ass in Advance Wars yesterday. That was weird. Like, she usually does not do very well in video games against me. Fucking destroyed me. Like, we took the Switch and just sitting there passing it back and forth.
I was just talking about a Puzzle Fighter, and I really wanted to be like, Karen, you should play this with me. But it's all competitive, so there's no way that she would want to play it with me, right?
Yeah.
Even with handicap, she's watching me play it, and she's like, this is a really interesting game, but it is fucking stressful. Because, it's when you get garbage in Tetris or something, it shows up at the bottom of the screen, and it can get a little stressful. But, like, this game is like, you've got to be able to stay level-headed because you can turn that shit around in an instant. Right, because all the garbage turns into usable blocks after a couple of turns. So if you just survive like 2 or 3 turns, you can get some crazy, crazy shit going on. The way that game bounces back and forth is so brilliant. But yeah, I don't know shit about Steam games, so thank you. I mean,
I know a little bit
involved helping me get this figured out. I did figure out what to get and that you can gift lots of Steam credit. That's a thing that I now know you can do. So,
oh yeah,
yay!
That's fucking awesome. And like Sheridan's been hooking me up with like a bunch of Steam games and shit. And I've played like a bunch on my computer here, but being able to play them on the Steam Deck and to hook it up to the TV too, like that with the fucking 8-bit. You guys, that's fucking out of bounds, man. That's so fucking cool. I'm so fucking excited. Oh, PC Master Race, here I come. It's amazing. Oh, no, that is so fucking cool. I am so genuinely touched. That is incredible. Fuck, man.
I was going to say you deserve it, but, like, under the circumstances, it's kind of weird to say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's, yeah. Well, because, like, that's the other weird part about it too. Like, I know I talk about it, on the show, obviously, because I want to update people and like let people know how I'm feeling and shit like that. But I also don't want I don't think I'm going to be like the Survivor guy, like, let's go do a walk or a run. Fuck a run. That's not going to happen. Like, who are we kidding?
I'll do a sit and have a beer.
Yeah, is that a cancer thing? Can we do a sit and have a beer stroll for cancer? Yeah, a cancer light stroll. But it's weird, man. So like yesterday, the first chemo appointment I had was in an offsite because I'm going through the MD Anderson Cancer Center at Cooper, which is like incredibly well respected around the country, around the world, like tippy top. Like that's the MD Anderson Cancer Center, and it's associated with Cooper Hospital, which is located in Camden, New Jersey. Camden, not the scariest place in the world, but not the most fun place to drive around.
Is that the house hospital?
I have no idea.
Oh, he worked at one in New Jersey. I forget which one it was. Sorry, go on.
I don't know. Anyway, I don't watch medical shows because, as I've stated before, like, I will have whatever is happening. I'm like, well, I have a gunshot wound. I don't know how it happened, but I do. So I was going, the first treatment that I got was at an offsite one in a town called Voorhees. It's just, about a half hour away from the house or whatever. Voorhees, yeah, not great. But it was interesting, because like I was in like just a little room almost, like half walls on two sides of it, but a room and just kind of separate to myself. Whereas here, the one I went to yesterday was at the MD Anderson Cancer Center in Camden, and it was just a big open room. And it was really fucking weird, like walking through there and seeing all of these different people all going through the same thing for the most part. Like, obviously you don't walk by and be like, oh, what do you got? What do you got? What do you got? What are you in for? It's not one of those
you telling me
deals,
it's not Cancer Social Club? That's weird.
It's not, but it kind of is, because like other people were chatting because they,
for sure.
Yeah, like because they kind of knew each other because they have their treatments on like similar days or similar times or whatever, and because it's all just an open floor plan.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you'll meet people through your travels.
Yeah, like it's just really odd to be sitting there. And, I'm a young-ish, I'm 43, and the guy who was sitting next to me was like 41, and then the person who was next to him was like in their 80s, and then there's a lady across from me in her 70s, and another one in her 60s, like crocheting and shit while she's getting her treatment. And then it's like this weird, thing, and then still trying to like talk to Tiff and be entertained and like play some Advance Wars or like read a book for a little bit, because you're there for 4 hours minimum, just because of some of the drugs that they're giving you have to go in. They can't, if it goes in too fast it'll kill you, kind of thing. So some of the bags that they hook up are 30-minute bags, and then another one like takes an hour, and then the scary one is called the Red Devil. It's like the affectionate nickname for it, and it's just this fucking bright red syringe that the nurse has to come over and she has to hand pump it into the fucking thing because it has to go in really slow, and it's like, oh, should you be talking to me while we're doing this? Please concentrate. But it's the whole fucking experience, man, is so weird. It's just fucking weird, And then they're done, and you're like, all right, see you in 2 weeks.
Deuces.
You know? Yeah. Very fucking strange. The hair loss, though, is quite unsettling. Because, like, I have to wear a mask everywhere I go now. So I took the mask off. And, like, there's a couple hairs in there. And I was like, oh, no. Has it started? Or, like, did those just get caught? And then I, like, very gently, like, tugged on the underscruff of my beard. And, like, 4 hairs came out. And no! God damn it, no!
Dan,
it's too soon.
Hear me out, though, man. I think, I get it. It's tough. You know, you got to come to terms with it. But once you're ready, it's time for a barcode on the back of the head. It's you got it. You got. I mean, you're gonna be there anyway. When in Rome.
All right. I don't know if getting a tattoo in the middle of chemo is the best idea.
You're right. God damn. You know, like
I don't know that it's not.
No,
I can't imagine it is.
It's not a good idea
at this point.
But I don't think about those things. I just think you're not going to have hair. I mean, fuck it. Why not? But yeah, no, that's you're going to bleed.
Just
not
magic
not a
marker or something. It'll be fine.
Yes.
Yes, that's fine too. Or a temporary tattoo, certainly. Do that.
Yeah.
So again, this whole thing was spearheaded by me and Chronodin, right? Chronodin over on Discord was like the main impetus. He was rather tickled by the commercial that I threw together, so I just put it in the chat. If you'd like to listen to it, we'll put it in the show too, so everybody can hear it, because there is a bit of a joke in there, and I want to know if you get the joke. So
if I get the joke,
I want to know if you get the joke, knowing that eventually you would go back and hear it.
Right.
So let me know when you're ready to listen.
I shot the clerk.
Do it.
All right, so you found it in the chat. You can listen to it because I'm not going to play it through the speakers.
I thought you were going to play it through the speaker.
You go.
I gotta go.
Listen.
I'm going to look in the chat. In the Discord chat or the Facebook chat? What chat?
Discord podcast recordings chat.
Okay. Oh, that's a whole separate thing. I don't ever go to that one. Hold on. Hold, please. Discord. Nope, that's the vinyl. I'm so fucking stoked on finding that fucking Alice in Chains.
Yeah, that's fucking killer. That was a nice find.
Very, very. Why can I not look at the chat here? Where? On the app. Okay, hold on. Dan Deck. Okay, I'm listening here. Open in Spark? The fuck Spark? Just play it. Or... Oh, no, all right, hold on.
You know what?
I'm going to throw my computer.
I'm going to throw this into the Facebook chat, because Discord's being a bitch.
Oh, how do I get to the Discord chat? Fucking hate. Oh, it's up here. Okay, hold on. I got it. All right.
You got it?
Yeah.
Hi everyone, Kris here. As you probably know, my co-host and hetero life mate Dan has started chemotherapy, and it seems like the man could use himself a Steam Deck to pass the time. Chronodin reached out to me on Discord, and the two of us concocted a plan to get him one. We've launched a GoFundMe, which will be linked to in the show notes under the name The Geek Writers, so Dan won't know what it is. He also doesn't listen to the show, so he's not going to hear this. We're aiming to raise enough money to get him the 1TB OLED model, which I know is pretty spicy, but Dan's worth it. I know money's tight all around, but anything you can spare would be greatly appreciated. Hopefully with your help, Dan can keep playing games. Now back to your regularly scheduled podcasting.
All right, so I recognize the music. Why do I recognize the music?
Because it's Echo the Dolphin.
Oh my god.
You fucking asshole. God damn it.
Ew.
I thought it was, but I was like, no,
Ew.
that's not it. You fucking twat. I love you so much.
Echo the Dolphin.
I saw you're a fucking cunt, and I love you.
All right.
Prick. That's amazing.
It's cutesy. It's demure.
Oh, fucking demure.
Well, that's been my week.
Oh, man.
And coughing. Lots more coughing.
Yeah. I'm sorry you're still coughing, man. That really sucks.
It does. I had an opportunity to host Quizzo on Wednesday, and I had to pass because it was like, I'm just going to be coughing through the whole thing. There's one thing to edit it out of a podcast, the other thing to be coughing all over the microphone live. But Jimmy offered me JD's Quizzo all month in September, and
that's awesome.
That's what, $800? Like, if there's 4 Wednesdays in the month, like if
that's
I get the whole month.
Hairs.
I can't turn that down, so I'm just going to get a bunch of lozenges and go to town and make that work.
Boys.
And it's $800 for doing something you like.
Yeah,
that's true.
For the most part, like it's fun. That's awesome.
It is fun. It's still, when you look at the world and you say, well, how do we pay for my kids' braces? Gambling. Like, kind of would be nice if we could have just had that covered with our insurance, but what are you going to do?
I don't know, man. Yeah, it's, in this man's economy, it's tough. It is tough. Oh, God, I'm so fucking excited. I got to start looking at, like, Steam sales and shit.
We got to talk, man. There's so many games, yeah.
I know. I know Rouchy and Mike have just such a deep catalog of things to get through on Steam. So you're going to be inundated with way more games than you'll know what to do with, and you're going to have more than enough credit to buy all of them. So go
That's
bananas.
Amazing.
Go nuts.
Oh, I'm so fucking excited. Thank you guys.
You're very, very welcome.
Thank you.
So did you guys play anything, or are we ready to go to commercials?
Well, I got my ass kicked in Advance Wars. Tiff did beat the shit out of me. I do love that game so much, though. It's such a good, two-player game. The Switch.
I actually don't know. I've not played it multiplayer because who the hell am I going to play
it's
with?
really fun. You can play that with Karen. It's really that's the great thing.
She wouldn't want to touch that game with a 60-foot pole. She wouldn't even consider it. She would not entertain the idea, which makes me sad.
What about 3 foot?
It's such a fun.
No?
It's such that's what's so great about Advance Wars is it's really simple. It gets really fucking complicated, but it's quite simple to get into, and Tiff, who's not good at this kind of shit, regularly beats my ass when we do the 2-player thing. So
that was fun. She would probably be better at it than me. It's like when we play Clubhouse games and she can just miraculously beat the shit out of me at Othello no matter what. She's not even trying. She's not trying to plan ahead or anything. She's just following her gut, and it is always the right move to fucking obliterate me. It's very, very depressing.
It is. I know. It's the thing we're supposed to be better at. And then they come in kicking our asses. Today, right before the show, I got up to I just got the bat in Symphony of the Night. So I just got to have the bat, so I'm about to go up and get the first half of the castle done. And then fucking go through the rest of the game. And as we will talk about in a little bit, I'm super fucking excited for this new Castlevania collection that was announced. So I have to make my way through the through this, and I got a couple more to get through so that I can jump onto those. I might, so I can jump onto those fucking delicious DS games that I'm so excited for. What else did we play this week? I feel like there was we were looking for something to play the other night, and I was like, you know what? Completely apropos of nothing. I just know that Tiff really loves Hercules, the Disney movie. Not the Kevin Sorbo show, because that thing sucked.
So does Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah, Sorbo sucks.
Yeah, he does too. Wasn't big on Xena either, but, it's just me. Xena was a better show than Hercules, but I digress.
She's a better lady.
Not even up for debate. So I was like, we've got the Kingdom Hearts collection thing, and I know in Kingdom Hearts 3 that the first world you go to is Olympus, and you go fuck around with Hercules. So let's go do that. It'll be just a fun, joyful thing. We'll jump into the game, and we'll go do that, and that'll be fun. And like, no shit, from turning the game on to actually taking control of a character was like 27 minutes. I was like, this is not fucking Metal Gear Solid. What are we doing? I don't understand anything that's happening here. I have not played the other two games. I just want to go run around in Olympus with Hercules. And I don't... Even playing the game, I still don't quite believe it's a thing that's happened. If that makes sense. Like, it's such a weird crossover property. I don't understand it.
Wait, which
at all?
We were talking about Hercules. Where else? Like Disney and Hercules? You mean?
So now Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh,
sorry.
Oh, nah, fuck that game. I haven't even put it in my PlayStation yet.
Because, like, legit, like, you turn on Kingdom Hearts 3, and it's like 27, 28 minutes of, like...
I'm not doing it.
Backstory.
Nope.
And you just watching a movie to start with. And I was like, fuck, dude, I don't get any of this, and
because someone realized that
care.
They fucked up with the other two games, and they're like, "Oh, that doesn't make sense. Maybe we can make it up in this one." But no, it's just more bullshit. It's just more stupid bullshit, and they're like, "We'll just." You can only fucking smear on so much Disney shit before it's just brown everywhere. It doesn't fucking matter anymore. You're just looking at a goddamn mess. Like,
It's the weirdest thing, because I like the Disney shit.
It's great, but it doesn't make any sense.
No. But, like, I'm in the middle of a battle, like, I'm fighting Heartless and shit, and I get, like, some weird random spell, like, every 5 minutes, too. It's like, oh, here's a new fucking thing you could do. Like, all right, great, whatever. So I'm doing these, like, random things, and then, like, you hit, like, triangle at some point when, like, a meter fills up, and the fucking Main Street Electrical Parade comes out. There's fucking cars going back and forth. And then another one comes out, and you're in, like, a Buzz Lightyear ride, and you're, like, shooting shit. Like, what the fuck is happening? This is insanity. And it controls like shit. How did anybody ever play through these?
My
fucking
favorite
wild
thing
ass
among
game.
the community is like, I'm not in the community, but I've definitely watched enough videos trying to explain the story, where people, just for excusing, inaccuracies and fallacies and paradoxes in between the games, for the boss, who apparently is like 8 different characters. His name's, I think, Xehanort, and people just go, Nort's gonna Nort, and I'm like, well,
that's not a good.
Right.
That's not a good explanation.
Nope. Like, why are we? And okay, the first game, sure. I think that's a passable game. Like, I played through it. It makes enough sense. Like, I have questions, and I wanted to know more. Anything after that, nope. I watched Jesse play through, I think, 1, 2, all of the bullshit before 3. Like, she played one of those collections on the PS4, the giant ones with 8 games on it, and I watched her play all of those. And, like,
Chain of Memories recoded in my ass.
Bro, the further we got, the less sense it made. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's fucking
so
weird.
Stupid. It, like, why are we? I'm gonna stop because I'm gonna get way too off topic about this. Like, I'm not even that passionate about it. They fucked up.
It's wild as shit.
Yeah, like, and I feel like
I said, I have a hard time believing any of this has actually happened. With the fact that I've played it.
Right.
I still have a hard time believing that it happened. No. And I think there's a much better game in there without all the Final Fantasy stuff.
100%. I think that's
like,
what
I think
it.
if you Captain N the Game Mastered it, and you just had a kid get stuck in the Magic Kingdom, and it goes off into all these fucking disparate worlds and all this Disney shit, like, I think there's a way better fucking game in there.
Yeah.
So we got frustrated with that, and we turned that off. And then Tiff wanted to start up Mario RPG because she's never played it. Ooh. So we started that up.
She liked it?
And man, she likes it. It's a really good-looking game.
The new one?
Yeah.
Chris
it's
was
really quite pretty.
Really speaking his praise.
It's a really, really good-looking game.
Yeah.
Sounding game too. The soundtrack is so good.
Yeah, it's very good.
They remastered it?
But the soundtrack?
Right?
Yeah,
I re-recorded it. They got Yoko Shimomura.
Yeah, like the whole thing from the ground up.
Yoko Shimomura. Now am I saying the wrong name? God damn it.
It's all right, bud. I'm not
going to hold it against you.
Yeah.
Yoko Shimomura. I was right. Ha.
All right.
Yeah, they got Yoko Shimomura to come back and redo the music herself. So, like, she was the original composer, so these all new versions of it are just these... They added new bits to some of the songs to make them a little bit longer. It's wonderful. You can play it with the original soundtrack on, too. You can just turn on the settings. You can play with the original Super Nintendo music. Cool. But the new music is just sensational. Trying to talk without coughing.
You sounded like Jimmy from South Park.
This quiz is going to go great this week. It's going to go great.
No, she's digging it so far. Because I've never played through it.
What? It's just a game what a treat.
Well, why? I don't like Mario games. That came out, and I was like, that's not for me either.
Fucking guy getting all fucking defensive about it. I was just saying you should be excited.
It's a very amusing story, and it's a very non-Mario game. It's a totally different animal.
I'm liking it so far. I'm digging hitting people with hammers. Like, it's pretty fun. So working through when Tiff's not here, or like when she's working or whatever, we just are not playing that. I'll be playing through Symphony of the Night, because fuck, that game's good.
Really is. I really wish they'd put it on. They put it on something. They really need to do that game more justice, because the current iteration that's out, Requiem, is not good enough.
I was going to say, that was the little collection thing they did last, right?
Yeah, it's got Rondo Blood, and...
it was okay, yeah.
I have it on PS4.
It's fine.
I don't understand why we have this new... the new voiceovers is like the gold standard now. Like, I don't understand why that's what Konami is pushing. I hated them when they came out on the PSP. I still hate them now in Requiem. Like, I will continue to throw my PS1 disc in my PS3 and play it that way, because, how do you not play Symphony of the Night with Die, Monster? Like, how do you not have that? The voice acting in that game was fucking perfect. It's legendary. Why would you change that? Yeah. I still stand...
It is a game that... Sorry, go ahead.
I still stand firmly by that game needs to be... So, we're going to talk a little bit more about Castlevania Requiem. Not Requiem. Dominus Collection.
Dominus.
What's happening, what people are finding out now is the amount of work that went into this port is astounding. That needs to happen to Symphony of the Night, because that hasn't happened to Symphony of the Night. And there's the entire Saturn version of this game that exists with the different playable character and the little extra area. Like, there needs to be
that should be
best
the version.
Of this is all of the because it shouldn't just be the Saturn version, because the Saturn version has a lot of problems with it. It needs to be a best of PlayStation and Saturn versions mushed together. There needs to be a definitive edition remastered of Symphony of the Night. Absolutely needs to happen, and it is a tragedy that it hasn't.
Graphics. Oh man, that's making my nipples hard.
It needs a little work. Like, it is a game that is definitely showing its age. 10 years ago, playing through it wasn't as bad.
When you beat a boss and the HP up thing shows up and it slows down during that whole thing. Like, just little tiny bits of cleanup, just teeny tiny bits of cleanup. That's all you need.
I would like Alucard to move, but this is just because I played fucking Circle of the Moon before. Not Circle.
That's a good one.
The fuck? What's Just? Is that Circle of the Moon?
Harmony and Dissonance.
No, that's a shit
Harmony and Dissonance. Sorry, because you could fucking forward dash in that
dash
one
everywhere.
Dude, that fucking.
So I just
awesome.
finished Harmony and Dissonance, and now I'm going back to Symphony. And it's like, man, it's just a little slow. I just want to go a little faster through this game. Because
some sort of consistent forward dashing would be really cool. It wouldn't be 100% necessary.
Or just a little faster.
Yeah.
Or just like Alucard is a touch on the slow side.
I really like his speed. I feel like his weight and speed is perfect as is, but you could do something similar to like the Swift Sail in Wind Waker HD, where it's like, here's an optional item that can make you move faster, that can make this whole process. You could just equip something that speeds him up if you want to do it if you want to go that route. Yeah,
I would enjoy something like that. I think that would add a little bit. Just because it's a Metroidvania, so some of it's a slog when you're backtracking, and it's like, all right, I gotta get back over there. I just want to get back over there quickly.
Just like, I can't tell you how on one of the many playthroughs of the game, when I got better at it, like, I would just be constantly turning into the wolf and doing the dash move with the wolf. Just like quickly get through areas as fast as I can. But then, like, you'll hit a wall and it's like, oh, all right, slows everything down, slows it to a halt. Like, but there are ways to get around faster, but they're not great ways.
No, that forward dash from fucking Harmony of Dissonance would be perfect, because you can already do the back dash. Yeah. Just give me a fucking forward version of that, and we're fucking great. But it is still just one of the best fucking games. I love it so much.
It is glorious.
I really do. Yeah. And that's it. I mean, Puzzle and Dragons, Snap, whatever. It's fine. I'm cooling on Snap a little bit.
But never Pad.
I mean, I don't play as Pad forever. I don't play as many dungeons every day like as I used to, but...
I mean, because you're God, basically. You have your own card.
Well, no, that's fair.
I have a question for you, Dan.
Yeah.
John has been... John has been super jazzed because he's been seeing a ton of commercials for Astrobot. How are you on Astrobot? Are you excited about that? Are you going to get that one?
Dude, I heard it's really good.
I think I would like to. I really I have enjoyed every Astro thing, every Astrobot thing that I've played has been great. Like that first when you came over and we hooked up the PS5.
Yeah. Astro's Playroom.
It's fucking great. It's a blast. That new fucking controller is gorgeous. I love it so much. The little fucking Astrobot controller. I don't need really another PlayStation 5 controller, but it's so good. But yeah, no, I think it's awesome. I think it would be great for John. It really is like their answer to the everybody mascot platform thing.
Yeah, they found something that works for them.
Yeah.
I did hear it uses the tech that's in the controller very, very well, which I feel was needed because there's a lot of fancy doodads in that thing, and I don't feel that anyone has really done anything monumental besides being like, look, the triggers can get hard sometimes.
Can't we all? Yeah, no, I agree. I certainly wouldn't go so far as to say like it's a reason to get a PS5.
No.
Like I don't think it's going to be that great of an experience, or that monumental of a release. But if it's coming to PlayStation 4, which I don't know if it is.
I don't think it is.
But I think. I mean, it all depends too, because if the rumors are true and the PS5 Pro is getting announced here relatively soon, which
sounds like
completely fucking unnecessary. But if that theoretically makes PS5 disc only, slim, whatever the fuck, cheaper.
No, then those are only getting more expensive. They just announced they're getting a price increase in Japan.
Shut up! Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that wouldn't fly in the States. I saw that too.
You're 100% serious? That's
like $90 more expensive. I think is like what the yen difference works out to.
Because of, like,
Sony
scarcity
hikes
or
price
something?
of aging PlayStation 5 console in Japan by 19%. Reported from CNBC.
I mean, all right. I don't
So it's going
understand.
to be $553.
I don't see that happening here.
No.
I don't. Maybe I'm wrong.
God, I hope you're wrong, because it really wouldn't go over too well. But I mean, Sony is basically hubris personified, so maybe.
They definitely are. They 100% are.
I mean, Xbox is making them L moves too with, yeah.
Yes,
what the fuck they're doing.
Hey, this is more money. What'd you do? It's got a bigger hard drive. Anything else? It's a different color.
Nah.
It's making me so scared for Switch 2. Like,
oh god,
it's like Sony and Microsoft are having these like competitions on how to piss off their fans. What can they do to make people angriest? And I feel like Nintendo's going to be like, hold my fucking beer. They're going to come out of the gate. The Switch 2 is going to be like, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, but something tells me it's either going to be brilliant or it's going to be just utter dog shit.
It's backwards compatible, but only with Wii U. You can only use Wii U discs in it.
Oh god, shut up. Shut your fucking mouth.
Everything's red. Again. Like, it's Virtual Boy 2.
Nah, fuck that. Mini discs.
Yes.
UMDs, we're bringing them back.
Oh god.
It's alright, I'm taking it back.
We bought them from Sony. We're exclusive UMDs now.
We're exclusively UMDs going forward. Also with an HD DVD add-on.
Yeah, and they only work in our new Atari Jaguar system.
Oh god, it's the Retro VGS. It's the Coleco Chameleon. Oh. All right. We're time is flying. We still have a whole lot to discuss. So, Dean, was there anything you wanted to hit real quick before we take our break?
Yeah, I guess because I'm gonna go leave after this. All right, so I'm just gonna list off a bunch of shit. I recompleted Vampire Survivors. I did the Dark Hasso thing. It was cool. The main things they do if you want to actually get the achievements and play the game and unlock all the shit is that you have to play the adventure portions of the game, which is really cool. It's like a small challenge part of the game you can do. There are, I think, like 5 of them, but for the purposes of getting the achievements, you really only need to do 2. They kind of star like characters that are, there's like a little rough story revolving around them. One being my boy, my favorite Poe Racho, user of the garlic force field, and then the other one is Melda Bellapese, if I'm not mistaken. And like I said, it's not a lot. Like it's some text before the stage starts, but technically I guess that's lore. But the fun part of it is kind of figuring out how to make a build work with the limited set of options in the level, especially when you first start. You do not have nearly the crap you do, especially if you've been playing the game as long as me.
Right, yeah, you go into those things, and I thought the adventures were pretty fun. I've done about half of them, I think, because it just kind of gives you an excuse to play the game the way it's played at the beginning again. Mm-hmm. Whereas, because once you get to the point where you know what all the combinations are, like that kind of becomes the metagame. You start playing and like, all right, what's my loadout going to be this time? What are my weapons going to be? And then you just kind of go build whatever you want and then become super invincible super fast, whereas in like these adventure modes it's like, oh right, this game can actually be kind of challenging.
Yes, it definitely reminds you that there is a difficulty there, especially at the beginning. I'm trying to see if I missed anything. I mean, the new arcane abilities, they're really cool. They're like the last things you unlock, sadly. So if you want to try them out, you're gonna have to do another run after you've done all this shit.
Oh god, what was the first Arcana? It was It was unexpected. It was.
So it makes you get like a little gnome that appears on the map, and he has a treasure box. So if you kill him, and he appears every, I think, like minute. So he's running around, and like if you murder him, you get like one of any of the treasure boxes. So you can get virtually anything from him and be super overpowered very early on. It's a pretty interesting one. The other ones are definitely no different. They're all like weird and shit. To get them, I don't know if you saw it, like you have like weird stipulations you have to do with all the characters, not all the characters, like 4 of them. And it's like, I think the second tier of characters that you unlocked after you got all the main runs from the core game. The space dude. Actually, that's the only one I remember. Oh, and
space dude.
Bat Robert. I can't say it. Bat Robert. There you go. I'm gonna say it like a white person. Bat Robert.
Robert.
Bat Robert. Those are the 2 I remember off the top of my head. But there's a total of 4 of them. You have specific stipulations that you have to do to get them to unlock, and they're not super easy if you don't look up what to do. Like, I played through a couple like actual map runs to see if I could just do it on my own, and I didn't really know what was going on. I kind of had a rough idea, but so for instance, from what I remember, one of them was you had to max out the character's main weapon, and then on top of that, you needed to get the the support weapon on top of that, or support item. You had to max both of those out, and then on top of that, there was typically an extra item that you had to get, and then there was one of those droppable items that had to show up that you had to activate that would make like a special effect happen instead of the normal effect, which is really, really cool, but who the fuck would know that under normal pretenses? So yeah, like I had to look them up because I wasn't going to spend hours and hours and hours trying to figure this out. So I did. It was really, really cool. I think it's awesome that this was a free update. I love Po Racho, and I think it's awesome that I now have a retired form of Po Racho, and that is now the version of the character that I will play as. If you don't know what I'm talking about, when you beat the adventures, there's typically like a special skin that you'll get for the main character of that adventure. The first 2, Imelda and Poe, do get like evolved versions of themselves where like they start off with a higher item limit than normal, which is really, really cool. Yeah, Ponkel keeps exceeding expectations. I think this was awesome that it was free, especially because there was definitely like, I'd say 5 to 10 hours worth of content here for nothing. They just gave that to you.
That's awesome.
Yes. The other 2 things I will talk about, I'm just going to kind of mention. The one that I've been having a lot of fun with until my hand started falling off was SteamWorld Heist. I'm almost done with it. I think that game's awesome. I think the world that it's in is awesome. Really, I'm just like kind of picking up the last few major items that I can get like achievements for before I like start the last leg of the game. SteamWorld games have always kind of had like a really expansive universe that can kind of span a different timeline or maybe even like a different sort of dimension or storyline entirely. But like SteamWorld Dig and Heist have been following this one story and like linear chronology happening, and it's very cool that we're still seeing it happen. This game's definitely become like more challenging as it's gone along. I don't think it's as difficult as the first one. If you're a diehard fan like me, I definitely think the game is worth the price of admission because the overworld map that was kind of lacking in the first one is like completely reworked in this one, where you have full control over like exploring, and there's tons of secrets to find and everything. I don't think a lot of people will like go about completing it though, because like most of the SteamWorld games, they have like very, very difficult achievements where it's either going to require multiple playthroughs or like very specific actions to happen that aren't luck based, but they're very like luck adjacent based. So I personally won't be putting in the time, but like I think a lot of diehard fans are really going to enjoy the options here. Dan, I heard you're a big fan of SteamWorld.
Yes, I loved SteamWorld Dig and Dig 2, and have not put a ton of time into the other ones.
I would definitely check out Heist if you get some time. If you like the first two games, you'll definitely like Heist. Yeah,
I there's just something so charming about the world and the characters. It's got this wonderful quirkiness to it that I just really, really like.
I love it too so much. Last game, and that's it, I swear. I've been playing a whole mess of Balatro.
Balatro is so fucking good.
Yeah, it's disgusting how bad I am at it, but how good that game is, because I just keep getting beat, but I keep coming back. And like I've reworked the way I've played it a few times, so you know, it's been a little bit of progress, and by like a lot, I've really only been playing it over the past 3 days. So I put a lot of time in those 3 days. Like I play at night for 3-4 hours before bed, and like I'm going to bed at 2 a.m. because I just lose track of everything.
It's just such a wonderfully replayable game.
Yes. The thing is, it's super simple. Like it's incredibly simple. There's not too much of there's no story or anything. I mean, there's definitely characters, I guess, in a sense, but it's very very
the
simple.
Jokers kind of become
right.
They take on some of the
antagonistic role, I guess you call it, but it's mainly just, you know, you playing cards, and it's really cool. I don't know if it's just the color scheme they use or just the overall simplicity. I think it's really neat. They did do a very, very simple update recently. I think you guys might be talking about it. Where they did a like nice little visual option where they added a bunch of indie games to the cards as like faces.
Yeah, so, that's good. We're going to cover that in a bit.
Yeah, so that was very, very cool. I've been really enjoying it. It's actually made me want to pivot into some of the other card games that are out there. There's a Dungeon and Degenerate Gamblers one that I want to try, I think it's called. That one seems really neat. It's only like $15, so I think I might try and get that when I get some extra cash. So yeah, that's it. I guess this is where I should part, but I'll wait till we get to the break.
All right, we got to read a commercial, so yes.
Oh shit, I'm gonna read a commercial.
No, you don't need to.
Always.
Oh, okay. All right, fine.
Okay,
yeah, whatever. It's my birthday.
Yeah, it's your birthday.
Happy birthday.
You get out of commercials. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Dean. We're going to take ourselves a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to go over week-old news. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around. So this is one of those months with 5 weeks in it, which has successfully thrown off my advertising schedule. So you know what? We're going to highlight some old shit by rereading some ancient commercials from 2021, all for stuff that is technically still available right now at Geekade.com.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm pretty sure Dean wrote this first one, because this doesn't seem like my writing.
I'm excited.
This does not seem like my writing
Let's
style.
See if I can zhuzh it up a little bit. First up, I've always wondered. I'm just trying to read through and see if I can catch any racist things before I have to say them.
This one. It's pretty zhuzhy as is.
It's pretty zhuzhy. First up, I've always wondered just where in the hell Mario finds the time and the nerve, quite frankly, to be involved in so many projects. Golf? Nah, son. Yeah, Dean wrote this. Mario Golf? Tennis? Nah, dude. Mario Tennis. Party? Nope again. Mario Party. He is truly the epitome of the fragile white male ego run amok. Maybe you wrote this. I don't know. Dean's not a guy who uses the word amok a bunch.
It's true. I don't know. This doesn't seem like my style, but then, I don't know, maybe.
I don't know. This was 3 years ago, Chris. It was a different time. We were smack dab in the middle of a pandemic. Of a panty, as the kids say, weren't we? Or were we at the end of it? I don't fucking remember.
Say? Is that what they say?
Yeah. It's a panty. No. So, anyway, such is the case with puzzle games. Tetris was already a thing. Well established on every computer thing. From Russia with Love? Damn it! Mario from Russia with Love. No, that's not the joke we're doing. No, here comes Mario with his lab coat, his viruses, his pills, and his puzzles to muscle in on the puzzle scene. What is he a doctor of exactly? Is he like a Facebook doctor who tells you not to wear a mask and the vaccines don't work? Yep, in the middle of the panty. Or a doctor that is really just someone with a doctorate in communications but makes people call him doctor. What world does this make sense? Why is he pushing drugs and why is it so good? I mean, it's not Tetris, but it's good. Will a dude, a lord, and a truth teller answer these questions and more? Find out on episode 6 of A Dude, a Lord, and the Truth, Tetris versus Dr. Mario.
That is a podcast that no longer exists. But you can find it on our, you can find it on the website. Next, on an all-new, using that very loosely, special edition of the Mutant Musings Evolution podcast, Jonathan and Patty have the distinct pleasure of sitting down to have a chat with Jordan D. White, the current editor, then current editor for X-Men Comics at Marvel. They talked to him for a while, presumably about X-Men stuff. The thing is, as of the time of this recording, the episode hasn't been edited yet. In fact, we just found out about the interview this very morning. Who knows what they discussed? Certainly not me. But what I do know is that you should listen to Mutant Musings Evolution, episode 6.1, interview with Jordan D. White. Oh, boy, that aged well. Mutant Musings was a pretty solid podcast, though. It was good, folks.
Did you just, copy and paste these?
I did.
I literally just copied, went through? Okay.
Because I have, this schedule for, week 1, 2, 3, and 4, but we had 5th week, and the original thought was we'll just promote stuff that we've been working on. But none of us have anything going on. You're fucking getting chemotherapy, and I'm too busy to see strains. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to read old... I'm just going to copy-paste old ones. Let's have some fun with it.
I love it. Well, finally, after 50 episodes, Chris, it seems that we here at Geekade must say goodbye to our tabletop gaming podcast. You Shall Not Pass Go. Yes, we have been informed that the newly released 50th episode is going to be the last. Alex joins Dave to say goodbye and chat about Magic the Gathering Arena, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Mortal Kombat, and Disney World, all tabletop games. But wait, what's that I hear? Is that hope on the horizon? Why, yes, it is. With You Shall Not Pass Go coming to an end, a new podcast shall rise in the form of a permanent team-up between Dave and Alex called DNA Nerd Blooded. Get it? DNA, Dave, and Alex? Works on so many levels. Anyway, be sure to check out You Shall Not Pass Go, episode 50, The End, and look forward to the premiere of DNA Nerd Blooded in the not-too-distant future.
Hey, do you know what never happened?
I wasn't going to bring it up.
Yeah, there is never a single episode. As far as I know, maybe that podcast exists, just not on Geekade, and I just don't know about it.
Are they on the Smodcast network? Is that where they went?
Oh, it's possible.
Are they on Smodco?
They were pretty good.
We should get on Smodco.
Should be. Let's see. When I Google search DNA
Kevin Smith likes you.
It shows up. All it shows up is You Shall Not Pass Go, episode 50. That's the only thing that shows up when I Google search DNA Nerd Blooded. It's a bummer.
That's why we fired him.
Yeah.
That's right. cold, hard hand of justice.
That's right.
Fist of justice, if you will. Came down and we were like, bah, you're not cutting it. You're not Geekade material.
They were good
Fuck
folks.
off.
I do miss the
ring
old days
the bell
sometimes.
on out of here.
Oh, ring the bell. What a good show that was. For all this and more from our partners, be sure to keep your eyes on geekade.com.
At least we got Matt.
All right, everybody, we are back. Let's real quick talk about what's new at Stone Age Gamer this week. We finally got in, not finally, I think we talked about in Week Old News last week, the Hyperkin Hall Effect joysticks. We got those in super quick.
Oh.
Those are available now for order. We also got a ton of laser lenses for like PS3 and I think one for the Wii or the GameCube. Lots of replacement laser lenses. So if you've got some dying lenses in your old platforms, we can help you out with that kind of stuff. That's basically it, but we're also running a Labor Day sale, but by the time you hear this episode, it'll be long since over, so I just tried to mention it last week, but I didn't.
So don't worry about it.
So don't worry about it. With that, it's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everyone's favorite segment. Strap yourselves in for Week Old News. Welcome to Week Old News, where we talk about all the news that was new a week ago. First up, oh boy, IGN reports Sony live service shooter Concord debuts to a tragic 697 concurrent players on Steam.
Ouch.
Ouch, indeed.
Well, that's on Steam, though.
Yeah, it's... Even with that just being Steam, that is a really low number. According to this article, let's see. Helldivers 2, another live service game from Sony, which launched in February 2024, hit a peak of concurrent player count of 155,926 during its opening weekend. The final.
That's more than 700.
It's a lot more. Yeah. Like, I don't want to be like jumping on this game's grave, because there are a lot of mean people out there who are really just all about games failing right now. And but on the other hand, I thought this game looked like garbage when they announced it. I remember we talked about.
I don't remember us being very excited about it. It looked fine, but like, fuck live service shit.
Yeah, this game, I mean, it's way too late. Like, obviously, this started development back when this kind of game was the new hotness. But here we are, like, a lot of years later, and it's coming out to an already crowded market. Its personality is what bothers me the most. Like, we were watching that trailer when they showed it off, and it was all this story stuff that's just like, so we're going to do what people think Guardians of the Galaxy was. Just real quippy, hollow, shallow slop writing. With this character likes hot sauce. That's a personality, right? He likes hot sauce. That's an entire personality.
That's it.
I was exhausted just looking at this game's cinematics. So no, I'm not surprised that this game is failing. But you know, seeing something that so many people put this much effort into fail this hard is kind of obnoxious. Because the game's decent. Like, there's not really something particularly wrong with the game, other than the fact that it's another one of its kind in a market that, you know, this game already exists and people are regularly playing it. Why are there? What's the incentive to switch over to shit?
It's called Fortnite. Knock it off.
Overwatch 2 is a thing. It exists and people play it. It's
just It is a shame though to see like hard work get just lambasted.
And like, this is a new Sony IP too. Like, I've been writing those franchise report things, and I've been going back and switching back and forth between Nintendo and PlayStation. And the PlayStation one has just been fascinating, but it has been depressing so far because Sony has created so many properties over the years that they have immediately abandoned. Just been like, nope, not doing this anymore. This was one and done. It's just such a different approach from Nintendo. It's kind of depressing to see, like, there's so much potential in so many games that they've launched over the years, and they've just never followed them up. Very strange philosophy.
There's so much stuff that Sony could be doing. Where is Blasto? Fuckers.
Like, I understand Phil Hartman died, but you know what? It's been a long time, and
it's been long enough.
It's been long enough. There's potential in that game. There is potential. They could have kept making Jumping Flash games, you know?
That's a podcast for another podcast. Because
that's a whole other
quite a bit to get into.
There is. So we're going to move on. Nintendo Life reports Atari revives an iconic racing gem with Fatal Run 2089. Fatal Run. I think that's another one that I had never played or even really heard much about before playing through Atari 50. So that's kind of a neat revival. The original Fatal Run was, let's see, it was an Atari 7800 game. Oh, it was by Sculptured Software. Look at that. That's kind of neat. I hit 2600 and 7800. And yeah, I played it on Atari 50. That's the only place I've ever played Fatal Run before. New one looks interesting.
I gotta get on that Atari 50 shit.
Yeah, and there's going to be a really good time to do it. Besides that, the expanded version that's coming out, they're adding all that and television content and all kinds of other stuff to it. So, I think this holiday season when that's dropping. So that's going to be there's going to be no better time to do it than then.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Sentence. That was a really well put together series of words there. Good job, me. God, I love this story.
I got hiccups again.
Oh, I love this story. I almost spent money on this. Time Extension reports Bubble Bobble's definitive console port, Final Bubble Bobble, gets Japanese reissue. I did not know this was a thing. Apparently, like, the best home console port of Bubble Bobble was released on the Master System. Let's see. GSK, Go Suck You on Twitter posted this.
How about that? Kiss your mother with that mouth.
Taito pre-order gimmick haters rejoice. Final Bubble Bobble, the expanded Sega Mark III adaptation of Bubble Bobble that was exclusively distributed as an Amazon Japanese Prime Day pre-order bonus for Bubble Bobble for Friends in 2019, is now available standalone. So it's like $5, and it's I didn't really know this was a thing. I knew Bubble Bobble was on Master System, but I didn't know there was this Final Bubble Bobble port. And I'm still not 100% sure what makes it so definitive.
Yeah.
Final Bubble Bobble was originally released back in 1988 in Japan for the Sega Mark III, 2 years after the original, and arrived in Europe 3 years later in 91 for the Master System. It saw the introduction of various improvements to the original game, such as the addition of more secret rooms, items, endings, and bosses. Wow.
Huh.
I'm sorely tempted. I found it on the Japanese eShop, and I'm sorely tempted to drop a couple of bucks on it to see what it's like, and like what kind of fun new things are in there. Because I mean, it's definitely looks more. I love the NES version of Bubble Bobble, and I always will. But this Master System version certainly looks more authentic to the arcade release. Not that the NES game wasn't, but this one looks more like it. Yeah, it's wild. I'm so interested in this.
Yeah, that's odd.
Final Bubble Bobble.
Like, what could make it so much more definitive than any other version of Bubble Bobble?
Well, I mean, that's what they said. It's got more secret rooms, items, endings, and bosses.
Sure,
means there's more.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what is that? Like, what does that look like? That's wild.
And like, why did this exist in the first place, right? Why in 1988 did Taito say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make a fancier version of Bubble Bobble for Master System.
Yeah, that's
what?
Fucking yeah.
I'm so into this.
Yeah.
I can't see myself holding off much longer on just not picking this up. I mean, I only have so much time for playing games, and I do have to get through Yars Rising for review, and hopefully some other games too. September is going to be fucking ridiculous. But at the same time, it's Bubble Bobble. I love Bubble Bobble. Why the hell isn't the NES version of Bubble Bobble on Nintendo Switch? Huh? Riddle me that.
I don't know.
It's fucking nonsense is what that is. Anyway, Kotaku reports Activision canceled a Crash Bandicoot Spyro crossover game. Way to go, Activision!
Yeah, good job, assholes.
I'm not a Crash fan, but I know lots of people are, right? I'm always rooting for that series to do well, especially since, you know, they finally got to make Crash 4, and it did, like, super well, I think?
Yeah, it did really well everywhere it went.
And that Crash collection, the Insane Trilogy, did obscenely well. So let's see. A new report claims that Crash Bandicoot 5 was greenlit by Activision, but was then canceled very early in development due to Crash... Oh, right, Crash 4 didn't sell crazy well. It was the Insane Trilogy that sold...
I thought it did.
...insanely well. Let's see, this says Crash 4 selling poorly, and the publisher wanting to focus more on live service titles like Call of Duty Warzone. Interestingly, this game would have seen the Wumpa Fruit-loving marsupial crossover with another platforming mascot, Spyro the Dragon. See, I really thought Crash 4 did okay.
I thought it did too.
What does the internet have to say? Let's see. Game Rant says, Crash Bandicoot 4 reportedly exceeded expectations with over 5 million copies sold. You know what? It didn't do well by Activision standards. That's probably what it was.
I have 5 million copies for fucking Crash Bandicoot in the year of our Lord 2023 or 2, whatever the fuck it was when it came out.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I have to. That seems like a pretty solid numbers. And I hate to say it, that's probably Activision saying, yeah, but it didn't sell 10 million copies.
But it wasn't 50 million.
Live service. You know, well, we could only sell this game once.
Yeah. We really, I really do hope that the industry, and it seems like we are headed that way for somewhat of a course correction. I'm like, no, you know what? 5 million copies is pretty fucking good.
That is pretty fucking good.
Like, it's pretty good. You know, I'm sure you made a profit on it. It doesn't have to be the most money. Like, you could still just make games that are profitable.
Sonic Frontiers
so that you
sold
can make more games.
3.5 million.
Yeah.
And it's not like,
Sega was like, well, we're done with Sonic, I guess.
That's a damn respectable. You sell any game that sells more than 1 million is impressive.
Yeah. What do we know?
Yeah, what do we know? Moving on. Oh, speaking of Sonic, Polygon reports Shadow enters the race in the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 trailer. Did you watch this trailer?
I did, and I gotta be honest, Chris, I'm super excited. I fucking like those movies.
Keanu Reeves, Shadow the Hedgehog. That's the thing.
Yep, I'm in.
I didn't... the first one was fine. I still hate the general premise of, like, we don't trust this property nearly enough. And the second one kind of course-corrected a bit, where it was like, you know... A little bit. Maybe... And I know this sounds crazy, but maybe people are actually coming to see Sonic movies because they want to see Sonic stuff.
Yeah.
No. We got to put lots of humans. We got to have this guy in a bar, and we got to have lots of. You got to be able to connect with it, right? People don't want to actually just watch Sonic. No. And now Sonic. No. This movie is just looking like, nah, fuck it. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are going to fight Shadow, and I'm sure there's going to be some people for continuity's sake, but seriously, that's what they're here for. And
yeah. Amy will be in there somewhere. Make
Keanu
no mistake.
Reeves' Shadow is just like, it's just Keanu Reeves. He's not even doing a voice.
Yeah, of course. No, nor should he.
Yeah, magnificent.
Yeah, I'm in.
Looks fun.
I enjoyed those movies for what they were.
Yeah.
You know, they were a fun time. They were a blast to watch with my kids. They were so excited. Katie will still tell you that Sonic 2 is the best movie she's ever seen. And, like, that's my fault, I guess, because we started the movie journey a little late. We did watch The Birdcage, and they fucking loved it.
Fantastic.
I adore that movie so much. It holds up. It's a little... There's a couple things where it's like, we don't say shit like that anymore. Like, it's just...
Product
just
of its
the one
time.
fucking line. Yeah, there's just a couple lines in there where it's like, oh, that was a bit much. But there's just a sweet, loving, like the moment with Robin Williams and Nathan Lane when they're sitting, when Nathan Lane has decided he is going to leave before the in-laws show up, and Robin Williams shows up with the prenup, and he has him sign it, and they go through the whole conversation of like, it's 50% is yours, 50% is mine. It doesn't matter if you say I can stay or I say you can stay. It's ours. And there's just a genuine sweetness and lovingness throughout the entire thing that is just fucking great. And Gene Hackman at the end being like, I don't want to be the only girl not dancing. It's so fucking funny. It's a great movie. They loved it. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, like Katie fucking loves Sonic. Loves that movie, loves that franchise. Like it worked, you know? It worked.
It certainly worked enough to pull in a bunch of money. I'm just a curmudgeon. Yeah. I expect more, damn it.
I mean, you should maybe chill with that a little bit, but it's alright.
Moving on.
Anyway.
God. Time Extension reports GameStop announces the launch of new retro GameStop stores. This'll surely go as well as it did the last, 2 times they said they were doing this?
I know. I looked, the closest one to me is like 25 minutes away, and I'm really curious.
I didn't know that you could find them. Retro store locator. Okay, where's the closest one to me? Find a retro store.
Probably in Philly. Would be my guess.
Cumberland Crossroad.
Where the fuck is that?
I don't know. I got covered by a pop-up ad that says that I've been pre-approved for the GameStop Pro credit card. How about no?
Oh, shit! How about no, you crazy Dutch bastard?
That's exactly where I was going. I fucking say that in my head all the time. And I'm not even a huge Austin Powers fan. It's just, that comes into my head.
I am.
And I liked Austin Powers. I'm just not like the hugest fan ever. And like, my friend was totally into those movies, and I was like, these are fucking great, but I haven't rewatched them a bunch of times. But that specific line, how about no, you crazy Dutch bastard, that comes through my head all the fucking time. It's in Millville. Huh.
Yeah, out in the Scumberland area.
Yeah. Look at that.
Sorry, that's not nice to any. We have any Millville or Millville adjacent.
I am from Millville, listeners. Okay? When I was a little kid, we lived in a trailer park in Millville. I am Millville trailer trash at heart, so you can say it all you want.
That's right. That's what I like about you. The Cumberland Mall is affectionately referred to as the Scumberland Mall. Like, I don't even know if it's still open. Mike Trout's from fucking Millville, though, so, you know, like, he's really good at the bases ball, so...
Phillies lost again tonight.
Yeah, anyway.
Anyway,
Yankees won.
This isn't gonna go anywhere. It's just not. It didn't the last couple of times. They're gonna buy a bunch of reproductions and put them on sale for full price. They're gonna throw out boxes. It's just gonna be bad for all parties involved.
But if you're into collecting retro games, you might want to get a part-time job at GameStop.
Yeah, at least for a little while.
If there's a GameStop retro near you, maybe pick up a day or two if you can, and you know, whatever happens. I'm not saying to do anything.
If they were serious about this, if they were actually serious about this, they could do something super cool and revive the FuncoLand brand, and change over a couple of their properties to FuncoLands, make them legit retro game stores with trained employees. Yeah. That's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Never in a billion years.
No. I'm not going to do that. No, continue to support your local mom and pop game store.
There you go.
That's what you do.
Sticking with time extension, they also reported that Star Fox studio Argonaut is back, and it's remastering Croc.
Cool. Fucking why?
Apparently this game... that was my initial thought, right? Croc for PlayStation.
Yeah.
Croc for PlayStation has sold extraordinarily well. Like, I did not realize how successful that game was. I know VG Charts isn't the most reputable source, but just the PlayStation version has sold over 3 million units.
Okay, that's good.
It did. It went on to a greatest hits. I have never played this one because it never looked very good to me. But I was talking earlier about writing my Mario script. There's definitely some pieces of this that are very interesting in terms of like the creation of Mario 64, because Mario 64, the impetus behind that came from when Miyamoto and Argonaut were working on the Super FX chip and Star Fox. Miyamoto wanted to make a 3D Mario game using that technology, and the Super Nintendo just wasn't up for it. Weirdly, mostly because of the controller. It wasn't like making the 3D platformer on the Super Nintendo was really... That wasn't the biggest hurdle to Miyamoto, was the controller not being able to make the game feel good to move a character around in 3D.
Right, not having the analog. Yeah.
But Argonaut made this, right? So after Argonaut and Nintendo split, they made their own 3D platformer completely separate from Super Mario 64. And I think I think it's my understanding that this game had tank controls, which sounds terrible.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. I have to do more research on it because it does seem like an important historical piece.
I know my little brother had it. I know that I played it. Because originally, like, I think I've said this before on the show, but like, I was kind of falling out of video games for a little bit, and my brother got a PlayStation while I still had, I was still rocking like the Super Nintendo. And it wasn't until, like, I didn't get my PlayStation until 96, 97, something like that. Like, I got it late. I played Final Fantasy VII on my brother's PlayStation. You know what I mean? Like, so I just don't have much of a memory of Croc other than being like, this is a crock of shit. I'll tell you that much.
Okay. So it had tank controls when you used the D-pad, but if you had a DualShock controller, then it played more like a proper 3D game, I think?
Huh.
Croc had analog controls. Unfortunately, the analog controls in Croc fixes almost all the problems with the controls. The analog controls just digital map. No, the analog controls in Croc are true analog controls with sensitivity detection, which offers a completely different experience. Pressing hard left or right will not rotate Croc in place, which is unlike the digital controls. Instead, Croc will begin to move left or right in a circular motion as the camera pans around the character. Interesting. This is coming from a website called Wackoid that was talking specifically about Croc's controls. It's something that I'm going to need to mess around with. I don't actually own Croc, so I'm going to need to track a copy down or just emulate it. Because I want to know how this actually works. It did come out. When did Croc come out?
93, 94?
Croc is 97. So this hit. This definitely hit after Mario 64. When was the analog controller for PlayStation came out? Right, because there was the analog controller before there was the DualShock. The one with the concave analog sticks. The dual analog controller for PlayStation also came out in 1997.
Huh.
Fascinating.
Son of a bitch.
Well, Croc's getting remastered. Congratulations to all parties involved.
That was a lot of time to spend on Croc.
It was. Speaking of things that are green, Go Nintendo reports the Green Ranger revealed for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. I'm so excited for this game. I don't care about Power Rangers. I am too, man. I've never been a Power Rangers fan. I was just a bit too old for it. And I don't care, because I've always liked the...
How dare you? We were fucking 12.
I remember being excited for it, and then I watched the first episode and was like, this ain't for me. But I always liked the look, because I was a big Voltron fan when I was a kid. So I always loved the idea of Power Rangers. I always loved the look of the Power Rangers, but I never got into the show. This, on the other hand, is just so directly up my alley. I love beat-em-ups, and even when I was younger, I thought, why isn't Konami making a Power Rangers beat-em-up in the same vein as X-Men and Simpsons and Ninja Turtles?
It makes so much sense.
It does. And here we are. We're finally getting it. Apparently, you unlock the Green Ranger by beating the game because it's part of the story. Like, Green Ranger is a part of the story of the game. And so exciting. So exciting. I'm also excited for that.
It's awesome to see, too. Oh, yeah, that looks really fun, too.
It does. I sincerely doubt it's going to be good, but I don't care. I'm doing it. It's fucking Karate
Toxic
Kid,
Avenger looks fucking great.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it is so, like, it's sad that the actor who played Tommy he passed away, what, last year?
Yeah.
Last year or the year before? Suicide, right?
I don't know.
I believe. I think it was. Which is just fucking tragic and sad, because that was a dude who meant so fucking much to so many people.
Jason,
like,
David,
just a
Frank.
massive part of so many kids' childhoods that, you know, dude just couldn't get the fucking help he needed. And
dead by suicide.
It's fucking heartbreaking. Yeah, absolutely fucking heartbreaking.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had been struggling with depression.
Sucks, man.
That's terrible.
It really is. And you've got this game coming out, and there's going to be renewed interest in the characters. It's a great fucking looking character. Mm-hmm. Like, the Power Rangers look cool. The Green Ranger with the Dragon Zord was like, yeah, this is fucking great. You know, like, such a cool looking character. Man, it's a bummer. But I
definitely followed the show
really excited
enough to remember when they introduced the Green Ranger and, like, him using the knife as a flute and that summoned the Dragon Zord. I was like, this is so cool. I wish I liked this show because I like the concept of it so much, but I didn't like the show.
You didn't grow up on enough kung fu movies.
I didn't. Moving along, Kotaku reports Bethesda locks the hottest indie behind a $100 paywall. So apparently the Temple of Doom skin for Indiana Jones is only available as part of the premium edition.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
I don't
have anything to fucking say about it. So silly.
There's so much about modern video games that I just hate. I just don't like it. It just makes me feel dirty.
No. A lot of it's really gross. A lot of it is really gross.
Last but not least, speaking of really gross, IGN reports Black Myth Wukong Xbox delay due to Sony exclusivity deal, not tech issues, according to source. So the rumor right now was that the official word was that Black Myth Wukong got delayed on Xbox because of some technical issues. But the rumor is that those technical issues didn't exist. There was a secret timed console exclusivity deal from Sony to keep the game off of Xbox longer. Which...
I gotta be honest, I don't believe it for a second. If you are going to, like, let's think about this logically. In the world that we live in currently, where exclusivity for games is a big fucking deal, right? Like, that's kind of something that everybody pays attention to. If Sony was paying money for this game to be exclusive, they would say so. timed exclusive on PlayStation. Like they did with everything else. Why would this be the one that they're not doing that with?
Why
does that make any sense?
It kind of does, because Sony does that kind of weird shit all the time. We were just talking about Castlevania earlier. What is their involvement in that Castlevania titles, the Castlevania Requiem, that it's only available on PlayStation? The assumption is that it's Sony preventing it from being on other platforms, that they had some sort of involvement, but there is no actual answer because no one will say anything.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. It doesn't make much sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense to me either.
Honest.
Like, I kind of buy it just because I feel like Sony has some sort of, like, weird hate boner for Xbox, but, like, they're kind of kicking the shit out of them this generation. Like, yeah, they are. They're the competition in the way in television was the competition for the NES. It's like, yeah, there's
ouch.
It's more like, at this point, it's more like Master System versus NES. Like, yes, it has an audience, but at the same time, like, it is a fucking fraction of what Sony's audience is right now. Like, they're getting trounced this generation. Why fucking bother? Why would you spend the money? Not that it probably cost that much, but, like, why keep Black Myth Wukong of all games?
This is what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense for Sony to have done that. But it really fucking doesn't.
I don't know. That's the word on the street. There are sources saying that is the situation, that the official line was that it was technical issues. However, IGN understands that no tech issue that would delay Black Myth Wukong has been reported to Xbox. Rather, the Xbox delay is the result of an exclusivity deal neither Game Science nor Sony have publicized, the source said. The source described the rumors of the tech issues on Xbox as, quote, inaccurate. Of course, nobody is Game Science or Sony have commented on it. But let's see. This new information follows a series of confusing rumors and contradictory statements stretching back to June. Observers first noted the delay of when Xbox Series X and S vanished from the Black Myth Wukong trailer shown during Summer Game Fest. In its FAQ, Game Science said that it was still optimizing the Xbox version. Whatever is going on is something weird, and I don't know what to make of it. I think that game looks weird anyway.
Yeah, it's getting mixed reviews. It's so hard, like, to find honest reviews anymore, because, like...
Oh, the anti-woke crowd glommed onto this game of, like, this is the example of a non-woke game. It's a masterpiece. Yeah. It's the game of the decade. It's like, whoa. Slow your roll there, buddy.
Want to play it a little less now. That's a game for me. Like that... Yeah. It's a Dan-ass game.
It's apparently also been modded so you can play as Goku, which I find hilarious.
That's great.
Love that. I found out about it because there was someone on Twitter who was just like, why would you mod this? Like, the character's already basically a ripoff of Goku. And it's like, oh no, read a book! No!
Read a book!
No!
You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh.
It's okay.
The world has failed you. The world has failed you. Oh, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, that wraps up.
Basically, a ripoff of Goku.
Yeah, it's like the character. What is it? The character is based off of Goku or something. It's like no,
definitely not.
The other way around. It's the other. Never.
Could not be any more wrong. If you tried, could not. The character is based off Peter Griffin. That is more accurate than than Black Myth Wukong being based off of fucking Goku. Oh. You fucking asshole.
All right, that's going to wrap up Week Old News this week. So we're going to take ourselves another quick break, and when we come back, we're going to break down everything announced during the double feature Nintendo Direct. You're listening to this Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around.
We are Safe at Home, the leading dog rescue in the heart of New Jersey. Are you searching for a loyal companion, a dog that will bring love and joy to your home? Look no further than Safe at Home. At Safe at Home, we believe in giving every dog a second chance. We rescue, rehabilitate, and find loving forever homes for dogs in need, right here in the Garden State. Our dogs are ready to make a lasting impact on your life. Each one has a unique story, a wagging tail, and an incredible capacity for love. When you adopt from Safe at Home, you're not just gaining a pet, you're becoming a part of our family. Our dedicated team ensures a seamless adoption process, providing ongoing support and guidance. With New Jersey's beautiful parks, beaches, and trails, you and your new furry friend will have endless opportunities for adventures and cherished memories. Safe at Home relies on the support of compassionate individuals like you. Your donations and volunteer work enable us to continue saving lives and finding forever homes for these amazing dogs. Join us in creating a safer, happier community for dogs in New Jersey. Together we can make a difference and give every dog the chance to feel safe at home. Visit our website or call us now to learn about how you can be a part of the Safe at Home mission. Safe at Home, because every dog deserves to be loved and protected. www.safeathomerescue.org.
Vestlord is here, clicking and clanging away on the controller for the entertainment of the public. That's right, the premier cyber sports entertainer is back in league with the Electronic Coliseum, where all the cyber sports entertainment happens. The Vestlord is going on a winning spree of likes unknown to get a shot at the coveted Electronic Coliseum Championship. If you want to see if the Vestlord has what it takes, head on over to the show notes for where to find him, or search Vestlord on Twitch or YouTube. Become a fan of the ECC, back the best, cheer for the Vest. See you there.
Hey there, Stone Age Gamer fans. Are you also fans of Star Trek? Well, maybe you'd like to listen to yet another podcast, maybe yet another Star Trek podcast. You see, me and my friend Majid, every other week, we talk about the original series, we talk about Strange New Worlds, we talk about Star Trek. We have a third friend, Brad, who's sometimes here, but he hasn't been. I don't know why. So come on over and listen to our show, yet another Star Trek podcast at yetanotherstpod.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi everyone, Chris here. Podcast listening is free, but podcast creation is not. That's why the Geekade Patreon exists. In an effort to help us pay the bills, we've got a Patreon page set up where you can gain access to our monthly podcast topic schedule, get early access to many of our shows, and more. If you'd like to help support Geekade and keep these shows running week after week, head over to the Geekade Patreon page, linked in the show notes of this very podcast. Okay, everybody, we are back, and it has been an exciting week in the world of video games. There was a double feature Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase and Indie World Showcased on August 27th, 2024, where just a shit ton of stuff was announced. Most of it very interesting. Not most of it very interesting. A bunch of it very interesting. We're gonna pick through some of this because it was fun. It was exciting. I'm excited. You're excited. Everyone's excited.
That's right.
Yeah. So we started with Indie World. Now this is Nintendo focused, but a lot of this stuff is multi-platform. Like it was just announced as Nintendo Direct stuff. So Indie World kicked off with the aforementioned DLC for Balatro. We've got new card faces featuring Vampire Survivors, Among Us, The Witcher 3, and Dave the Diver.
Yeah, that's awesome. Balatro's great.
I'm so close to giving that game a shot. I feel like once I do, it's going to become a problem. So it's one of the reasons I haven't touched it yet.
It's either a game that you are going to be like, yep, I just play this all the time. Yeah, and like what's nice about it is that you do a run. And sometimes that run is 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, I did a 10-minute run. And sometimes you're like, well, I'm going to suspend this and pick this up tomorrow because it's going well, you know? It's great.
The next one was Neva from the makers of Grease. Looks artsy as fuck.
Mm-hmm. It does. Looks pretty cool.
We followed it up with Coffee Talk Tokyo. I did not realize the story behind these Coffee Talk games. Apparently the creator of Coffee Talk died recently.
Okay. I did not know that.
Coffee Talk is a series, and let's see. I'm trying to find information about this. Coffee Talk. Fuck. Coffee Talk creator died in March 2022. So this is the first new game in the series, I believe, that did not have any of his involvement in it. So that's interesting. Yeah. Then we got Power Wash Simulator Shrek DLC?
Enough.
Look, I'm into this Power Wash Simulator idea as a game, and I do want to try it. But I don't know if this is genius or insanity anymore at this point. This might be the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, it's clearly doing great to get official Shrek DLC. I just don't see myself power washing a fucking swamp, but whatever.
Yeah.
We finally got information on the Sea of Stars Throes of the Watchmaker DLC. I'm so fucking excited about it, except it comes out in spring of 2025.
Yeah. I mean, but still. It's coming now. Like, thank God it's not coming out this year. Honestly.
Valid point. I mean, September alone is going to fucking kill me.
Yeah. Like, thank goodness it is not coming out this year.
I'm just so glad that it is coming out. I'm so happy for more Sea of Stars. I've realized that the general public seems to have turned on Sea of Stars a little bit, which I find rather...
Have they?
Yeah. Once this was announced, I kept seeing a lot of not publications, just a lot of chatter about game was a pretty huge disappointment. Like, really? I did not feel that at all. I fucking adored that game. One of them was from an outlet that I genuinely I tend to agree with the folks at Good Vibes Gaming. They were just like, yeah, Sea of Stars, I don't know, characters didn't really do anything for me. And I'm like, really? Like, not Garl
really?
didn't melt your heart? Like,
didn't. How dare you?
I don't know. This is fucking weird. I'm still jazzed on it. I still think Sea of Stars is a fucking masterpiece.
I do too. It's a game we barely talked about, but I was a big fan.
Hardly touched on it ever.
Barely mentioned.
This next one was super interesting to me. It's called Morsels.
This looked.
It's got weird. A really cool art style. It's Annapurna Interactive. They lost me a bit when they said it was a roguelike or whatever. I just want to play video games, right? I just want to play games that have stages, and then I go through those stages, and then I beat the game. Like, I don't. As much as I enjoy Shovel Knight
the game
Dig,
to be the game.
I stopped playing it because I didn't want to keep doing runs of the same thing over and over again to see how much farther I can get. I don't want to do that. I want to play a game from beginning to end. And this game looks like something I would really like. I am. I'm so old-fashioned. This looks like a game.
You're so old-fashioned.
I love its style. I love how weird it is. I think this one's super cool. I wish it wasn't what it is, but I think it'll do well for itself.
Oh, I'm sure it will. I'm with you. Like, I just want to buy a game, and just for the most part, there are. I loved Rogue Legacy. There's a couple that I have gotten into. Vampire Survivors, right? Like, I know there are builds and stuff, but like, can be a different game every time, not to the level of like a roguelike, but it can be different every time you play through it. Right. But I just want to buy a game and just have the game be done and not have to be updated in 2 weeks because shit is broken. Like, I really thought about picking up Outlaws, the new Star Wars game. Mm-hmm. But in reading reviews, it was like, I'm going to wait for that to go on sale. And they've patched it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
and that sucks.
The most recent thing that I heard about that one is that it's really the beginning of the game that's more of a slog, and it apparently gets a lot better the deeper you get into it. I'm still not interested in it because I don't like the way it looks. I don't like the way it's portraying its characters. It's doing the Guardians of the Galaxy thing. It's doing like, we're doing like really quippy kind of stuff. Like, that's not how they talked in Star Wars. It's how you think they talked in satire of Star Wars. But that's not the way Han Solo was. And it's just like, it's this weird pale imitation of what they think quippy dialogue is. And I hate that. It's the reason I hated most of the story elements in fucking the Star Wars Jedi game, like Jedi Fallen Order. It was just like the way these characters are interacting with each other. It's just like, hey, I got the New York accent. I'm the little guy who's flying the plane, and I got the New York accent. Like, would you shut the fuck up already? Would you just stop it with this? I couldn't stomach him. It was so manufactured. Nothing about it felt honest, and I just despised that so much. I don't know what it is about the writing and so much of this kind of science fiction-y stuff. Like, Guardians of the Galaxy happened, and everyone really wanted to emulate it, and they did a terrible job of it, and it's just stuck with science fiction ever since. Yeah. And it drives me off a fucking wall. I hate it. Oh, I'm getting way too heated over this. The next game was Date Everything. I had heard about this game beforehand, and I cannot tell you how disappointed I was when I actually saw what the game looked like. Because they said, all right, date everything. You can date a couch. You can date a lamp. And I was like, cool.
If you're JD Vance. I love that you went with couch first.
And I was like, okay, I want to see this game in action. But they've turned all of the everything into a humanoid character. And I can understand how on one hand that's somehow even more absurd, like Hoove the vacuum cleaner guy. But I really wanted to see a game where you're trying to seduce a literal vacuum cleaner. Now,
where you are really trying to fuck that couch.
It goes far enough that you can like try and date the personification of the game's text boxes. You can try and date Doug, your overwhelming sense of existential dread. Like,
yeah, there's some pretty great shit in this.
Great shit in there. I just wish they weren't people. I wish it just stayed completely in the like, no, you want to date the your thermostat? You're going to talk to this thermostat. not a humanoid version of a thermostat. I want to talk to and attempt to seduce this panel on my wall.
This thermostat. That's right.
That's what I want.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Yeah, super into it.
Next up was Peglin. This was a shadow drop, and I have to say I'm really interested in this. It's Peggle, or like, what's it, like Plinko or whatever, but it's also an RPG. Fucking sign me up.
Yeah.
I love Peggle.
It's just crazy enough to work.
Yeah, this is like when we were playing Yoku's Island Express, where it's a platformer that's also a pinball game. Like, give me this. I want to try this out. This is very interesting to me. And if I wasn't currently playing Yars, this is probably the one that I would have bought to be like, this is insane, and I really have to try this because this just looks fun.
Yeah,
I played through all of Pong Quest. That was a fucking Pong RPG. Like, yeah, I'll play this.
It was pretty good.
Peglin,
right?
Sign me. Yeah, I thought Pong Quest was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember this one at all. What the fuck was Wobbly Life? Oh yeah, I don't know. This did nothing for me. Pico Park looks pretty interesting though. This the Pico Park.
I don't remember that.
It's the 8
so it must not have hit me.
It was the little colorful dudes. It's the 8 players at the same time. You all have to work together to solve simple platforming things. Like, I don't want to play this by myself, but I do want to have 7 people over and try to play this game for a little while and see how it works. It really does look like complete madness for local multiplayer stuff. I can't imagine playing this by myself, but then that is very clearly not the intent. Like, this game is designed to be played with multiple people to piss each other off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of neat. Shovel Knight, Shovel of Hope DX, we already knew about that. Europa didn't really tick any boxes for me. Just looks like
that's fine.
Yeah, looks like a cool indie 3D game. Good for you. What was Cuiseneer? Cuiseneer was create your own culinary experience. It's like some sort of cooking action adventure game, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, didn't strike me. This On Your Tail game was just like, oh god, this is furry fodder right here. Like, this, I feel dirty just looking at this. Like, I know exactly who the target audience for this game is. We finally got a new trailer for Metal Slug Tactics coming out fall this year, apparently.
I'm into it.
2 years ago or something.
I think so. Yeah,
like that looks great though. Yeah, that was a while ago. I wonder if this page is missing anything. I actually took notes and wrote down all the games. Niva. Oh yeah, this actually did skip a bunch of things. There was Moth Cubit, right? Moth Cubit.
I'm trying. I felt like you were skipping some stuff, so I'm trying to find like.
I'm just going to go by my own notes instead of this other the Polygon article I was looking at. It said everything, and I think it was lying. Yeah, I thought Moth Cubit looked pretty interesting. You're a moth who works in a office building or something. Yeah,
it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, that one had a pretty neat look to it. The Seal Star, Power Wash, Morsels, Date Everything, Peglin, Wobbly Life, Pico Park, Shovel of Hope, Europa, Cuiseneer, On Your Tail, Metal Slug Tactics. Oh, and then we got another quick look at Plucky Squire. You can never have too much of that. So excited for that game.
Yeah.
And
that looks so awesome.
But the one more thing was kind of a big hairy deal. Like, they stopped it like, oh, we got one more thing. Where'd that pizza come from? It's fucking Pizza Tower is on Switch now.
Yeah. It's about time.
Yeah. About time. Great drop. I have not picked it up because I'm just waiting to. I have Yars Rising. Right?
Yeah.
I have other things to get to, but it's on my list. You
got to get the review code for this now.
Fingers crossed. I hope I like the game because I keep hearing mixed things about it. I know there's people who absolutely adore this game, and then there's other folks that have been like, well, it was fine, but didn't really knock me over. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how it translates to the Switch, because like Penn was playing through it and she was like trying to P rank every level, right? Everything you can do to get like the highest score and the quickest and all that shit. But she was doing it with the fucking keyboard. She wasn't even using a controller. And watching her like play through this game, I cannot imagine doing this game without a fucking controller. Like, it's just so... Like, think about trying to play through a Wario Land game on a fucking keyboard. That sounds maddening, right?
It does. But I'm not a young person, so...
No, that's fair. We are not young people anymore, Chris. We're not old people. We are solidly middle-aged.
That we are.
That's sad. Yeah.
It is. So Indie World came out swinging pretty well. There was a handful of things in there. I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. And hey, Pizza Tower, like, yeah, that's a pretty solid Indie World. But that was the halfway point. That was the halfway point. Then we switched over to the partner showcase, which kicked off with a very confusing trailer that did not do this thing justice in the fucking least. We kicked off with Tetris Forever, which, at no point did they mention this is the third Gold Master Series game. That's like, first, a Tetris collection? Sure. That looks neat. It's got a bunch of weird versions of Tetris that haven't been released in North America. It's got a Hatris on it, which is a surprisingly fun game. I was sold. But then I found that it was a Digital Eclipse Gold Master Series, and I was like, holy shit. Deep dive interviews, playable history timeline of the Tetris series? Yes. Oh my god, yes. Fucking amazing. I'm so excited for that now. That went from being like a neat curiosity to one of my most anticipated games because I love the Gold Master series. I mean, I've talked about it relentlessly on this show. I think it's a brilliant format. But they fucking scored Tetris? Really? That's amazing. Yeah. I cannot wait because Tetris has such a weird history. I cannot wait to learn about this more. Oh, it's going to be so fun.
Did you watch that fucking movie?
I did.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh my god.
Is it bananas? Is it worth watching?
Like it's not. It's a bit of an exaggeration of the real story,
sure,
but not as much as you'd think.
Not as much as you would want.
It's well, that's the thing. Like you watch the movie. Like I watched it with Karen, and she was like, "This is insane." I was like, "This actually is not far off from what really happened." Like, yeah. It's nuts. Tetris, the story of Tetris is pretty fucking wild. No, it's a really good movie. It's really fun. You should definitely check it out. I highly recommend it.
I like Taron Egerton.
Yeah. It was good.
Dude's cool.
Good, solid stuff. But sticking with Tetris, they also announced that the NES version of Tetris is finally hitting NSO. We were just talking about that pretty recently. How that should happen. And I'm so glad that it is. Because that was my first Tetris. You know, most people it was Game Boy. But there was a whole lot of us that started on NES, and that was my first Tetris, and I'm very, very into having that readily available. So, yay.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Star Overdrive was next. Looks like a neat jetpack game that also is like, I don't think there's any question in my mind that the Switch version will be the worst version of that game, so.
Yeah, it looked fine.
Yeah, it looked fine. Not gonna, trip over myself for it, but yeah, it looks neat. But then we had our first shadow drop of the partner showcase, Goat Simulator 3, which John has been playing nonstop. Oh my god. John fucking loves Goat Simulator.
The money.
He fucking loves
make
Goat
all the
Simulator.
money.
He has put so many hours into that Goat Simulator Goaty edition we got on Switch. I mean, an obscene amount of hours into that game. He fucking loves it. So when we just had his birthday party and he just got a bunch of eShop credit at his birthday party that he had no idea what he was going to do with, they just shadow dropped Goat Simulator 3 and he was just like, can I get it? Can I get it now? Can I get it now? I was like, yes.
Can I get it yesterday? I love this.
And he's just been playing it nonstop. Just as many hours as he can put into it, just goat simulating constantly. He fucking loves it, and I love that. That's insane. For him.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, I don't get it, but I don't have to.
Exactly.
It's okay that I don't. It's good for them. Oh fuck! Like, what are we doing with ourselves, Chris? Goat Simulator, Power Wash Simulator. Who the fuck? Final Fantasy VII, fucking remake 2. Billions of dollars to make the game. Goat Simulator. We're good.
It's insane. Buggy as shit, but that's the point.
Doesn't matter. No one cares. We fucked up.
We got another. After that, we got a couple of quick fire things. Legend of Heroes, Star Wars Hunters Season 3, Stalker Legends of the Zone trilogy. Apparently some of the old Stalker games are getting remade.
Those were pretty big back in the day. I never got into them, but I know they had a pretty big following.
Again, similar to Tetris, we got a quick look at Worms Armageddon Anniversary Edition, which, okay, sure, Worms Armageddon, that's neat, except this is also Digital Eclipse, and it's not a Gold Master Series release, but they've put a ton of work into it. There's all this behind-the-scenes stuff and, mini documentary type stuff. That's really fucking cool.
It is. Armageddon was certainly my favorite of the Worms games.
Yeah, I haven't played it since Dreamcast, but yeah. I remember liking it.
I loved Armageddon and never felt the urge to play another Worms game after it. This is great. I don't need to ever do this again.
Yeah. I am now at a point where I would play Worms Armageddon again. I would give that a shot in modern platforms.
For sure.
We got a quick look at current content for Disney Dreamlight, Dreamlight Valley.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sure.
It's not for me, but I hope somebody's enjoying it.
There's a new SpongeBob game, the Patrick Star game.
I thought it was just DLC for the SpongeBob thing. Am I wrong on that?
I think it's
not super up on.
I think it's just a total
SpongeBob?
Unique game.
Cool.
It was just listed as SpongeBob SquarePants: The Patrick Star Game. Available October 4th, 2024.
I dislike SpongeBob quite a bit.
I'm kind of nothing SpongeBob. I don't love or hate it. It's a property that exists that does not offend me or excite me.
Okay.
Fitness boxing, getting a new fitness boxing. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's dope.
But then they dropped then they dropped their first major fucking bomb. A match to remember. Fucking all right. So they come over here with this screen. This says a match to remember. And of course, we just got SVC Chaos recently. It's like, oh shit, They're doing Capcom versus SNK. They're re-releasing that. That's awesome. But then they start the trailer, and the first thing you see is Street Fighter Alpha 3. I was like, wait, what is this? But what am I looking at? Capcom Fighting Collection 2? And the hits just keep coming. They're like, what am I looking at? Okay, Capcom versus SNK. That's fucking amazing. There's Capcom versus SNK 2, Mark of the Millennium 2001. Fucking amazing. Project Justice? What? Project Justice?
Love Project Justice.
Capcom Fighting Evolution? Why would you do that? Oh, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper. Hooray, Alpha 3 Upper. That's so great. Plasma Sword. Oh, shit. This is crazy.
Yeah, I love Plasma Sword.
And then Power Stone and Power Stone 2. And I just about shit my pants. Finally, finally, Power Stone on modern platforms. Yes, double yes. Oh my god, I love Power Stone so much.
Technically, the PS Vita, isn't that what fucking Power PSP. All right, never mind. Yeah, I was going to say fuck. I thought it was on the Vita, which would be the modern handheld from Sony. Still,
and it's not even that original PSP.
But it's not even that. Still,
that's
original fucking PSP. Jesus Christ.
Fucking ridiculous.
That is absurd. Power Stone is so great. It's so unique. It's so
must
fun.
Buy.
Oh yeah, without question.
And this is why I went and picked up that first collection, and now I'm like, do I track down a physical copy of the first one? Because I'm definitely getting the MVC collection physically, and I can't see me not getting this one physically either, because it's fucking Power Stone, and I want to have it forever.
Fucking Plasma Sword. Plasma Sword is so great.
Plasma Sword's pretty solid. Project Justice is pretty solid. But here's what's fucking weird about this. Project Justice and Plasma Sword are sequels. Rival Schools and Star Gladiator are nowhere to be found. They're not on the first collection. They're not here. That is weird. So where are they?
Capcom Fighting Collection 3.
That's my thought. I wrote a whole thing about it for it's going up on Wednesday, so it'll be up before this episode actually airs. I wrote my thought process for a Collection 3 because there's a couple of different ways that it could go. Because there aren't actually a ton of Capcom fighting games left.
No.
Past this. Actually, there's a decent amount, but some of them would be a really strange fit, right? Like you're talking about Onimusha Blade Warriors, Beautiful Joe Red Hot Rumble. Those are like platform fighters like Smash Brothers. I don't see that happening, right? I don't see them putting those in a collection. The Mega Man Power Fighters games, they're also more like boss rushes than fighters. So I don't see those happening either. But, Rival Schools, Star Gladiator, I think those are shoo-ins. I think the biggest missed opportunity, the biggest missing ones that are just not around right now are Saturday Night Slam Masters and Ring of Destruction. Like, those games fucking rule.
Yes.
Now, they were the character designs were by Tetsuo Hara. So maybe there's some sort of rights issue that's been preventing those from coming back. Maybe, but maybe not. I mean, I don't think so. Give me the Mike Hagar wrestling fighting games. Like they're fighting games. Like they're dressed up like wrestling games, but they're fighting games. There's that Final Fight fighting game, Final Fight Revenge, that never came out in the US. But that's still not enough games to fill a collection, right? Like it's not quite enough. You're not going to get Tatsunoko versus Capcom on this collection. I wouldn't imagine they'd be able to get the Tatsunoko license for this.
I don't know. They're doing the Marvel versus
right, but like that's a whole collection of that one license, right?
No, I know, so but
getting Tatsunoko just for that one piece of this collection would seem a little off, especially because like there's that one, but there's also JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which was a Capcom fighter, and that's a whole different license from a whole different anime company. So like, I can't see both of those being on the same collection.
Probably not, but
probably not. So my other thought would be, well, let's get all three of the Street Fighter EX games on, right? Because we're looking at this collection that we're getting, Capcom Collection 2, makes a degree of sense to me because it's all games from like the Dreamcast era. Like every game in this collection is from that chunk of time. So what we haven't done is all the games from like the PS1 era. And that's your Rival Schools. That's your Star Gladiator. That's the first two Street Fighter EX games. That's Final Fight Revenge. Saturday Night Slam Masters and its sequel are older than that, but still.
But make enough sense in there.
Yeah. But if you just throw those things together, how enticing a collection is that overall? Throw all three Street Fighter EX games in there. Now, granted, you'd have to work with Eureka, but I can't imagine that being all that difficult to do. That makes it a real collection.
Can I also get Street Fighter the movie, the game? Can I get that on there too?
Yes.
I mean, because why not?
Both versions. Give me both versions. The arcade version and the home port version. Oh,
it's utter dog shit, but
but so Street Fighter 1, and they put that in the collection.
Yeah,
so.
It is a not insignificant part of Capcom fighting game history.
Exactly. Exactamundo. Fucking love it. God, this collection just got me so fucking excited. And then after it...
It's a great fucking collection.
Immediately after it, they dropped the release date for Marvel vs. Capcom Collection. Just like in case you weren't already freaking out enough, Marvel vs. Capcom Collection is coming out on September 12th, the digital version. And they confirmed in the trailer that it's going to have that Japanese-only comedian guest character.
Yeah.
Like,
that's awesome.
This is all of it. This is all of it right here. My God.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to do with myself. I'm so excited. And the Punisher.
Yeah. For no.
This doesn't match anything about these other games, but it's here. Let's see. We've followed that up with Atelier Yumiya.
But this is not announced as coming to Xbox.
Right, yeah. It's PlayStation.
Right now it's Switch, PlayStation 4, and Steam.
Yeah, 4, not 5.
Yeah. That's weird.
It's got to be something with the way these games are being emulated that's just easier to do on older hardware.
Maybe.
I don't get it, but...
That's weird. I don't care, because it'll still play on the 5, so...
Exactly,
shit,
so it's not really...
You know?
It's not like these games are going to be particularly enhanced by being on PS5.
No.
It's going to run exactly the same, so it's fine.
No, I mean, you get the PS5 Pro, now you're talking. Now you're going to get
ray
enhanced.
tracing and that shit. Yeah.
That's right.
We followed it up with, was it Atelier? I've already forgotten the name of this fucking game. Anime Nonsense. Atelier Yumiya. It's part of a whole series. Good for you. Then we got the Suikoden collection.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wow. I've never played Suikoden before.
They're so good.
They don't really strike me as my kind of game, but I have to say this remaster looks brilliant. These look beautiful. Just really, really nice job on these. Good. If I were a Suikoden fan,
games.
I'd be shitting my pants. These look beautiful. I wish I had the time or the wherewithal to get into these. Who knows? Maybe someday I will. But this is a great looking collection. And then continuing that trend with the worst fucking name ever, Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake. It looks great. I hate the title, but that's Square for you. Always happy to see more looks at this game. I'm seriously considering giving it a go. I always wanted to get more into the Dragon Quest games when I was younger.
Yeah.
I remember spending a bunch of time in the first Dragon Warrior and then never really messing with the sequels because I couldn't get the hang of the first Dragon Warrior. But these modernized versions, that might do the trick.
Yeah.
And then they dropped the second bomb, the Castlevania Dominus Collection. What the hell? Konami dropping all 3 of the DS games in one collection, Castlevania Dominus Collection. They look great. I really want to mess with the screen layouts. I hope there's a way to just have the playfield screen and not the other 2 screens on the screen at the same time. But even if there isn't, I'll live.
Your TV's fucking big enough, you know. Like you can.
It's less about the TV being big enough and more about it being distracting to me. Like it just looks cluttered to me. But maybe I'll feel differently when I actually play them. What I found interesting was there's been people trying to figure out what's going on with these ports because they look a little too good, and apparently, like there was some serious work done. Like these aren't. They're not 100% just emulating the 3DS, the DS games. They actually did some native porting, it seems, to make this shit run. Like everything's running at a higher resolution. Some of the polygons have higher resolution, like bitmaps, if I'm using the word correctly. Like there's some real work that was done behind the scenes on this, which is fucking wild. Because
they are 3 of the best DS games. Like, I'm not even going to say best Castlevania games, which they are that as well. But they are
some
3
of the best
best.
They're the best examples of this genre.
Yeah,
I would put I personally put Dawn of Sorrow up there right next to Symphony of the Night. And Order of Ecclesia, I never finished that one. But that was because of life at the time, not because I wasn't really enjoying the game. I really want to finish that one. I really want to get this collection and just blast through them because these games are so goddamn good.
They're fucking great. And adding the touchscreen controls like to the analog stick, perfect.
Yep.
Because we've been talking about that for years now.
Yeah.
Of like, come on, fucking Uprising. Figure your shit out.
You can do it. You can absolutely do it. And they could have stopped there, Dan, but they didn't.
They could have.
They didn't stop there. They gave us 3 of the best Castlevania games and the absolute worst Castlevania game in Haunted Castle. But then they also gave us Haunted Castle Revisited, which apparently, according to the sleuths on the internet, is running on a similar engine to Castlevania The Adventure Rebirth.
It is. It was done by M2. They've been doing all of this.
Mike has played through it already. He says it's a good time. They fucking made the putrid Haunted Castle a fun game to play.
I'm so excited.
Bless their hearts. I need this. I need this. And it was fucking shadow dropped. It was available later today.
I know. And it's $25. Are you fucking serious?
Insane. That is a fraction of what any one of those games goes for on the aftermarket. Like, holy
it's $25. I'm so angry at it existing because I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
So I can't get it. I can't get it yet.
I am okay with it right now because I have other things to play, and this is going to go on sale because these Castlevania collections frequently go on stupid sale.
Yeah.
Like, okay, fine. I'm not in a huge rush. I will get it as soon as it goes on sale because I'm cheap. But
I mean, fucking spoilers for the Golden Caveman Awards. But pretty sure I know what's gonna win Collection of the Year.
Oh, I don't know. That Capcom collection's also looking pretty fucking sexy.
I know. It's the Marvel vs. Capcom. I know.
Both of those, like Marvel vs. I don't know. It's hard to beat these Castlevania games, honestly, but
it really is. So I'm at right now. I am at Symphony of the Night, which means where's my fucking list that I was looking at? How to play cat? There we go. Okay. So blah blah blah. Symphony of the Night. So actually, once I finish Symphony, though, that's when I have to get it because the next game, timeline-wise, set in 18XX AD, is Order of Ecclesia.
Well, there you go.
So I've got Order of Ecclesia, then Bloodlines, then Portrait, Aria, and Dawn. So, I mean, I have a lot of Castlevania ahead of me, but...
You seem real broken up about it, too.
God, I'm so sad. So bummed. What a...
Love it.
Fuck. Such a good collection. Such a good collection of games.
Unreasonable. Okay, they followed it up with Civilization 7, the Tales of Grace's F remaster, the My Sims Cozy Bundle, which gave me some serious flashbacks to Game Crazy. The music in that trailer was just like, oh god, I remember this music. I've never played My Sims in my life, but you're goddamn right. They promoted the shit out of those games, and I definitely remember that music.
Certainly did.
Five Nights at Freddy's Help 1 and 2, Epic Mickey, the Hobbit game that just looks fucking terrible.
It really does.
It's just so
my kids
ugly.
Are really excited for that Epic Mickey remake.
That makes me happy. I hope they're not as let down as I was.
Yeah.
Because I was that excited for Epic Mickey the first time around, and then I got it, and I was like, oh,
and it was terrible.
Fine. It wasn't terrible. It was fine.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
It was fine.
They're very, very excited for the whatchamacallit. They're very excited for this remake. Katie loves Oswald. She's a big fan. So, she likes all that weird old Mickey shit.
Yeah, I love the concept of that game. I just don't love the game. Yeah. Maybe it plays better.
Oswald is in that, right? Now. I'm not crazy.
This is what brought him back into the limelight. The character
That's what
was
I thought. Yeah.
all but forgotten before that game came out. There was the obligatory Just Dance. Ellie was very excited. Funko Fusion, that continues to be just the most soulless thing I've ever seen in my life. It's like they made a video game of the very concept of corporate slop.
They really fucking did. It really, really did.
Hey, look, you can play as the Five Nights at Freddy's guys, and the Beetlejuice is in it. It's Funko Pops. Oh, God.
It's a fucking bummer, man.
Yeah.
It's a fucking bummer.
EA Sports, Football 25, Lego Horizon, Rune Factories. There's your farming game. We almost made it through without a farming game. You got to get at least one. And then the one more thing for this was Yakuza on Switch.
Which is great.
That is great. It's a series that people have been wanting on that platform for ages. But the guy in charge of the series pretty much shit all over the Switch. It's like, no, this is a system. This is a baby's toy. We're not putting these Yakuza games on there. But he's no longer. I believe he's no longer with the company, and they were just like, hey, you know what? Money's great. Let's put these games on Switch where they'll sell a bajillion copies because that's where people want them. And then they did, and I'm sure it's going to work just fine. Folks have been saying that, I don't know anything about this series, but folks have been saying that this is a kind of a strange starting point for the series, but you know, whatever.
I hope it does well.
I'm sure it will. Oh my god. So yeah, there you go. That was that was the lineup. It's a pretty solid lineup. It's
pretty fucking great.
Yeah.
Overall,
I think one of these would have been fine, but doing them both next to each other as a double feature is fucking great.
Yeah, no,
because like the indie showcases and these partner showcases are always like, well, it's not the proper Nintendo Direct, so I'm sure I'll watch it at some point. But putting them next to each other, just like it really increased the excitement for it, and the fact that it was such a good show, it really pulled it. It really pulled it off. It had a lot of hype going for it. It worked out really well.
It really is quite impressive to me where the Switch finds itself at this point in its life cycle, when we all know that at some point this year the Switch 2 is going to get the big pants off reveal, and and still there's a ton of great shit coming out for the Switch. And like, you contrast that with what Sony and Microsoft, whatever the fuck they're doing, it's just, man, it's just weird. Like, we do not need a PS5 Pro. But at all.
Agree. Hard to agree.
At all. You're still making your biggest games for PS4.
Yeah, like we're just starting. We're just now starting to get out of that. Like Astrobot's PS5 exclusive.
Right. And like Spider-Man 2, I think, was PS5. But fucking Ragnarok was on PS4.
Wasn't that long ago. Like, we're just now getting away from the previous generation. Just now. And you're already talking about you're making a pro version? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it seems very strange.
Not the problem. Yeah,
no.
Technology is not the problem right now. You need to focus on making games. The new hardware is a bit of a problem for Nintendo right now. Like, the Switch has definitely aged itself out, and it's fine. It's the kinds of games that are coming out for it, these collections and these smaller indie titles, they still work great on the original Switch.
Oh yeah,
and there's nothing wrong with that. But the big stuff,
and there's still, if you're doing like I said earlier, like Super Mario RPG looks fucking incredible.
This new Mario and Luigi Brothership game looks great. Then there's a new Zelda game coming out next month, for fuck's sake. Like there's a way to do this shit. But there's stuff coming for Switch for the rest of this year, and I'm very curious what they already have cooking up for Switch 2, because like you can look at the games that are coming on Switch right now, and like you definitely see this is like the B and C tier stuff. So Nintendo's got stuff in the chamber ready for Switch 2.
Sure.
I'm just so curious what it's going to be, and I hope they pull it off. I hope they do a successful transition. I hope that the Switch
they have not
is very
recently,
successful.
So we are certainly hopeful.
Well, they have and they haven't, right? Wii to Wii U was a fucking disaster, but Wii was also far more of a disaster than it seems on the surface.
Sure.
DS to 3DS, like 3DS didn't do nearly as well as DS, but once the 3DS got its feet underneath it, it did extremely well. Like, just because it didn't do original DS numbers, one of the best-selling platforms of all time, like, 3DS did very well. It just took a minute to get there. So, they have and they haven't. They Game Boy followed by Game Boy Advance, like, that was no loss in quality there. That was a huge success.
Sure.
But
I'm speaking more modern.
Right. So, we've done the DS to 3DS was good, the Wii to Wii U was bad. But we're in a pretty uncharted territory here with Nintendo. This is their first generational leap since they've closed they only have one system, right? The Switch showed that it was the right decision, but let's see if they can follow it up. I hope they can. I really do.
I really do too.
Because I really do too.
It's better for everybody. Yeah,
I do, and I really want the competition to start emulating what Nintendo does right.
Yeah.
Right, and I want them to do it their own way, obviously. I don't want PlayStation to be like Nintendo. I just want Sony to look at what they have and continue to invest in what they have instead of always trying to chase something different. I love the fact that they keep making new properties. That's wonderful. But they should do that while fostering their existing stuff, because iterative releases like that are how you come up with some of the most creative shit out there, you know? Like, God of War games have been around for a long time, and they keep building on a core foundation and finding new and exciting ways to make that series continue to be better. But when you hit the reset button and you try something completely different every single time, there's something to respect in that, but also there's something lost in that.
Yeah.
Podcast for another podcast. It's late.
It is. Yeah.
And that's what we're all done. We covered everything. It looks great. It sounds great. Tastes great. Less filling. I'm very excited for the future. Lots of good stuff.
Me too.
And with that is our show. Join us next time for the aforementioned SAG Cartoon Express. Are we going to be talking about Donkey Kong Country? Season 2, Episode 5. Message in a Bottle Show. I watched it earlier today.
I didn't watch it yet. I was about to, and then you were like, we're going to do this instead. And I went, sweet. I don't have to watch that fucking shit for another week.
I will warn you that it's a clip show.
Oh, good.
So you're going to get callbacks to a bunch of episodes you've never seen. I watched it with John today, and it was fucking difficult, but we will talk more about that next week. We are on most social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with us, we aren't very difficult to find. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes, and you'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff, like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com, and more useful links than you can shake a joystick at. If you'd like to get early access to this show's episodes, as well as a bevy of other shows on the Geekade Podcast Network, check out our Patreon, also linked to in the show notes. It helps keep this show running week after week, and all our patrons are loved and appreciated. This show's theme song, Squared Roots, was written by Banjo Guy Ollie. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, we'd like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for making the show listenable for all you folks. And we'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. That's it on behalf of Dan and myself. Keep playing games.